are live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A standing room only crowd here at Target Field. And this American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by BlackBerry. It's game one between the AL wildcard New York Yankees and the Central Division champions, the Minnesota Twins, from Target Field here in Minneapolis. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Ernie Johnson. This is John Smoltz. This is Ron Darling. And look at this series, and there is a distinct sense of urgency on both sides heading into this opener. Take it from the New York perspective, Ron.
Well, you can make the argument that with CC Sabathia pitching, they have to win every single start. So many question marks in the rotation behind him. 40-15 in the regular season for CC, and last year 3-1 in the postseason. He's going to carry much of the burden this season if the Yankees are going to get to the World Series as the wild card team.
This is the fourth time they have been the wild card, the New York Yankees. In the previous three, they were knocked out in the first round. When we talk about this sense of urgency, John, how does it play out on the Twins side?
Well, it exists for them, but in a different way. They want to erase that 3-year drought with the Yankees, and they've got a new stadium. They've got a kid making his first career postseason in Francisco Liriano, comeback player of the year. Not even sure out of spring training what his role was going to be or what position in the rotation. For him to be successful, for the Twins to be able to say, we can beat the Yankees, he's going to have to get through the very first inning of the game. Look for that to be a big moment for Francisco Liriano because he's a very emotional guy. This is a great honor, but a lot of pressure.
Fourth time in the last 8 years, it's the Twins and the Yankees. In the previous three, the Yankees won. It's always been painted as David versus Goliath, and it's been all Goliath. But this time, David has home field. The first pitch, just around the bend, here on TBS.
The MLB Division Series on TBS is presented by BlackBerry. By Bank of America. Get MLB banking only from Bank of America. By Prudential, the rock you can rely on to meet today's financial challenges. And by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
We welcome you back to Minnesota. The fourth member of our crew is Craig Sager. Let us check in with him for the first time. Segs?
Well, EJ, it is a beautiful night for baseball in Minneapolis in October. Clear skies, the high temperature today was 74 degrees. It's about 10 degrees cooler at game time. It's called Indian Summer. That is the time that Native Americans traditionally harvest their crops, the first warm spell following the first frost of the fall. Now this stadium, with its artificial dirt that has been manufactured and with its heated field and the outfield grass, is built for adverse conditions. But the inaugural year, there weren't many. Only one game was postponed by rain, one other was suspended, and that is fewer tarp delays than they had this year in San Diego. And it's supposed to be even nicer tomorrow, EJ.
It has been beautiful. Thank you, Craig. Here is the lineup for the New York Yankees here in game one. The captain, Derek Jeter, hits leadoff with Nick Swisher right behind it. Mark Teixeira in the 3-hole, and Alex Rodriguez hits cleanup. Robinson Cano, having an MVP-type season, hits fifth. The DH is Marcus Timms. Jorge Posada behind the plate. Speed at the bottom of the lineup, and Curtis Granderson in center, and Brett Gardner in left. And John, they will be facing Francisco Liriano.
Yes, they will, and it's the greatest time of the year. If you're a pitcher, you've watched all the film, you've had 5 days to prepare for this. Francisco Liriano making his first start. He gets better as the game gets on, but what's going to be very important for him, can he get his pitches down in the zone, get his team in the dugout? That's the key. That's why I think the 9th inning approach for a first inning game of your first postseason is so important. See how he does. Great slider, good changeup, two-seamer that primarily he'll throw as a fastball.
There is Ron Gardenhire, never the manager of the year, but he's had a great season with the Twins as AL Central champions, and Joe Girardi ready to go as the Yankees take aim at title number 28. And Derek Jeter steps in to lead it off. Thanks for being with us tonight here on TBS. What can they do for an encore here after a Roy Halladay no-hitter in Philadelphia? And Liriano, like Halladay, making his first postseason start. Here it is. They'll be roaring on every pitch here early. They've been waiting all day long here in Minneapolis to watch this thing get going. The 0-1. Liriano quickly ahead, 0-2.
That should alleviate some of the nerves, John.
Yeah, one of the things he does really well is he gets a lot of hitters to swing at balls outside of the strike zone. As you watch the pitches come in the pitch track, you're going to see that to be very effective, his slider, which ahead on the count, batters only hit 188 against Liriano, so that's going to be the key.
Mauer putting down fingers, and here comes the 0-2 down low. Derek Jeter hit 270 this year. 47 points lower than his career average coming in. He was a .317 hitter for his career. And there were certainly a lot of questions, and certainly in his future with free agency looming, what the Yankees will do with that. But of more immediate concern is game one, and there's the first out as the captain goes down swinging.
Well, behind Liriano in the defense today, Delman Young is going to be in left field, Denard Span, Jason Kubel in right field. Second fewest in the AL with those 72 errors. Valencia, Hardy, Hudson, and Kadire, who's played first since Morneau went down with the concussion, and Joe Mauer, of course, who is all-world, MVP, whatever you want to give him.
Well, here's Nick Swisher. Switch hitter, hitting .291 from the right side. Fouls it straight back. Swisher hit 29 home runs this year, only 4 of those from this side of the plate. You know, they talk a lot about Francisco Liriano trying to control his emotions and sometimes getting too amped for the big games, and Joe Mauer having to go out time after time after time to calm him down. But these first few pitches are any indication he's okay. That one's way upstairs. But in a situation like this, and it is your first postseason start, come on, you're going to be amped, John.
Yeah, you're going to be amped. And if you're anybody that has a veteran presence on that team, you've got to tell them, look, this first inning is very important. Bear down. Get that first hitter. Don't create any tension for you by getting that first hitter to get on base. And what he does very well, okay, you see he's got an electric fastball, but his slider and changeup, Ron, are at the same speed but do opposite things. That's what makes it tough to hit.
Well, I think the key for Liriano, whenever you watch him pitch, he's got to control that aggression, controlled in the strike zone. The only Minnesota starter who has swing and miss type of stuff.
He got Jeter to swing and miss to lead off the game. Here comes a 2-2 to Swisher, and that's down low. Home plate umpire is Jerry Crawford.
Now, as the game progresses, 3-2 counts, 75% of the times his trends are saying he throws a slider. So he doesn't give in to the hitter even though the count is full.
Hit the other way. Easy play for the O-Dog, Orlando Hudson. 2 down. Mentioned Jerry Crawford behind the plate. Of course, it is a 6-man officiating crew. Ray James, Jerry Crawford, Hunter Windelstadt, whose dads both umpired for a long time, Greg Gibson, Brian Onora. We'll have the others for you momentarily as Teixeira takes a strike. Tell you that down the lines, Gary Darling in left field. Chris Guccione making his postseason debut down the right field line.
Guys, it's almost like the Minnesota Twins need one of their starting pitchers to tug on Superman's cape. Give them a chance to pitch deep into the ball game, because you're going to have to against a pitcher like CC Sabathia.
Teixeira waiting. Tap toward the mound. Liriano throws a strike. 3 up, 3 down, and they're on their feet at Target Field.
You know, I mean, it is a lot of pressure, but I don't think it's any more pressure than I put on myself every time I go out there. So I won't pitch any different, you know, do anything any different. You know, I'll just go out and pitch my game, be aggressive, and try to do what I've done all year.
Just win 21 games. He went 21-7, John.
Well, he's done an unbelievable job. And really, you know, you think of CC and you think, well, he's a guy that throws a ton of pitches. Not exactly. He's been really good at mixing in his changeup and not throwing a ton of pitches, and that's what the Yankees are going to need tonight. He comes after you, aggressive in the count with fastballs, and then mixes in a dead fish changeup and a great slider. And the only thing that he's had a little trouble against left-handers versus right-handers, he's done great, but the Yankees are really going to count on his performance tonight.
Denard Span leads it off. Takes a strike. Alex Rodriguez in on the grass a bit at third. Span's got good speed.
I don't think you can discount the imposing figure of CC Sabathia on the mound. 6'8".
Well, one thing in talking to Ron Gardenhire, they said they're going to be very patient, try to make him work and try to make him throw a lot of pitches, because they realize that CC's going to, on all accounts, pitch twice in the series, and they got to make him work for everything he gets. And the Minnesota team approach is one that you don't see very much. They all buy into the theory of just grind it out and find a way to get hits.
Breaking pitch over. A ball and 2 strikes, and Ron, 6'8" is one thing, 290 is another thing entirely.
Not many times that ball players get pitched to by a tight end. If you watch Posada give the signs, you'll see that he has painted on his right hand, his fingernails, white, so CC can see the signs much better here at Target Field.
The 1-2 missed his corner, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Span leads it off. Orlando Hudson is on deck. And Span will be held to a single. He just reached out and slapped it into left. And the Twins have the leadoff runner on.
Well, you look, this is what Minnesota needs to get started. Keep the crowd into it. When you get in a postseason game, they don't get this loud in a regular season game on a hit. But everything's magnified, and Minnesota has to keep this crowd in it as long as possible and keep their pitcher and their hitters fired up. Good start for Minnesota.
You think of offensive speed. Gardner's speed defensively stopped that from being a double by Denard Span.
And now we'll see how Ron Gardenhire plays it. Yankees struggle throwing out runners, and Span is their leading base stealer. Hudson, who can handle the bat at the plate. Span swiped 26 in the regular season. Hudson lays down the bunt. 1 play for Sabathia. And a runner in scoring position. Here is the lineup for the Twins. You saw Span and Hudson. Joe Mauer stepping to the plate now. Delman Young has had an outstanding year. Hits cleanup. 40-year-old Jim Thome still getting it done. Leads the team in homers. Then Michael Kadire, Jason Kubel, the young Danny Valencia, who's been a real find at third, and J.J. Hardy at short. Here's Mauer, number 3 in the American League with an average of .327. Also number 3 in on-base percentage at .402. And one of the toughest guys in baseball to strike out.
You know the scene in The Natural when they all get on their feet for Robert Redford? Not much different here for Joe Mauer when he comes to the plate.
He was born in St. Paul, No balls and 2 strikes to Mauer.
One of the things these pitchers do when they get ahead of the batter, they're devastating. Opponent batting average 145, 0-2, 1-2 off of CC. The league's hitting 102. Same thing with Liriano. So you look for trends in this game. Both pitchers like to throw strike 1 and get ahead, and they're much more effective when they get deep in the count.
Mauer not fishing there. A ball and 2 strikes.
Base runners are successful. Ron Gardenhire talked to us about stealing some bases. Successful 88% of the time against New York Yankee catchers. But with Mauer up, the left-hander, open view for Posada, the third base, probably won't happen.
Jeter creeps in behind Span, and CC runs it inside and misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sabathia worked 237 2/3 innings this year, second only to Felix Hernandez in his 4th straight season of 200+. He's just a big old workhorse, loaded with talent. The 2-2, and he got Mauer swinging.
Well, defensively for the Yankees behind CC Sabathia, Gardner got the start over Thames in left field, Granderson and Swisher in right, Rodriguez, Jeter, Cano, Teixeira loaded with gold gloves, and Jorge Posada, of course, doing the catching for CC tonight.
If you're looking for averages from CC, he's going to throw anywhere from 93 miles an hour on up in his fastball. That last pitch you saw, 81-mile-an-hour slider. His changeup's actually heavier, 86 miles per hour. It's more of a dead fish pitch that gets a lot of ground balls.
Cleanup hitter Delman Young slaps it to right field, foul.
If you're a right-handed hitter, great approach against CC Sabathia. You're going to see a lot of pitchers on the outside part of the plate going to right field. Very smart idea.
Young hit 21 home runs, hit nearly 300, 298, knocked in a bunch, the only Twin to knock in over 100 runs. Span with his lead at second. The 0-1 hit right back towards Sabathia. Cut off by Cano, who throws him out. What a great play. Good thing Sabathia didn't deflect that. We're going to the second, scoreless. This American League Division Series coverage on TBS is brought to you in HD by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Top half of the second, Alex Rodriguez takes upstairs from Francisco Liriano. Yankees went in order in the first. A ball and a strike. Another banner year for Alex Rodriguez. A year that marked his 600th career home run. Also become the first player in big league history with 14 seasons of 100+ RBIs. Liriano's bet ahead. And it's 1-2 to A-Rod. Fly ball to right. Jason Kubel, 1 down.
One of the things that Liriano has done since getting hurt early in his career, he threw a lot of 4-seam fastballs, primarily 4-seam fastballs, never threw a 2-seamer, and now he's throwing all 2-seamers. He's going for sink. His velocity was higher then. Some of the numbers have come down, but his slider is so good. He's got a major league high 145 strikeouts on his slider. So when you see 2 strikes, you can pretty much bank that most of the time he's going to go to that slider.
And now he faces Robinson Cano, and when you're having that MVP discussion, put him right up there front and center.
You always have to remind yourself also he was at his best all season long, but never better than early when Teixeira was struggling.
And later when A-Rod went down, he moved right into the cleanup spot, didn't miss a beat. He hit 29 home runs, knocked in 109, which is number 7 in the American League, and hit 319, top 5. That's tapped up toward first. Easy play for Kadire.
In the American League, you don't have, obviously, the pitcher to pitch to. So when you're navigating through a lineup, if the Minnesota Twins are going over the Yankee lineup, which is interesting, the 8th and 9th hitters are both left-handed. So that gives you some flexibility because he is so tough on left-handers. He dominates left-handers. It's going to be very difficult for Jorge Posada to get a lot of pitches to hit in an RBI situation. So you always look for a part of the lineup that you're going to go to and say, there's where I can get some outs. The Yankees are great offensively, but in the bottom half of the lineup, I know Joe Girardi's trying to get 2 leadoff hitters down there, but they're left-handed.
This is the DH, Marcus Timms. Takes the breaking pitch over. Ball and a strike. Timms had a real power surge late August into September. Hit 7 home runs in 10 games. He hit 12 on the year. That ball's hit hard. Right over Rob Thompson's head in the third base coach's box. And he's hit Liriano well, 5 out of 14 with 3 home runs. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There is nothing like the atmosphere in a ballpark on a night of postseason baseball. Every pitch, every moment is vital. And if you're just joining us here on TBS, the third of our 3 games to begin play in the MLB postseason. We're at Target Field, Minneapolis. Twins and the Yankees, top of the 2nd. What we've seen already today, the Texas Rangers went down and took care of business in Tampa Bay, in St. Pete. And I thought Cliff Lee pitched really well until I saw Roy Halladay. And if you're just joining us, no hit the Cincinnati Reds today in Game 1. There's the first base runner for the Yankees via the walk.
Well, there's a guy that's had not too many have had good success. He's had success off of Liriano, so he pitched him awfully careful. Sometimes, with the gap between the season and clinching and getting ready for your first start, you can get into a video rehab situation, meaning you watch too much video. And you're always trying to figure out. That's what I love about postseason baseball, is the game within the game. How are you going to set up that hitter for the next couple of bats? And that bat right there told me something, that if there's runners on, he's not really wanting to pitch to Mr. Timms if he's got a chance to drive in a run.
Here's Jorge Posada hitting with 2 down and a runner at first, and takes a strike. 18 homers and 57 runs batted in the regular campaign for Posada. Part of that Yankee core 4.
One of the things you have to fight if you're a young pitcher in postseason, that adrenaline you have in the first inning, like air out of a balloon, it seems to go away in the second. And now out of the stretch for the first time for Liriano, he's going to have to be careful where he places his pitches to Posada.
Jorge hasn't had too many at bats, but he is 3 out of 7 against Liriano in his career. At 40,000 plus, really wanted that.
Well, the crowd here thought that was a strike, but you can see by our pitch tracks, definitely inside. Jerry Crawford, one of the senior umpires, great home plate umpire.
Down even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And once again, The noise builds on a 2-2 pitch with 2 out here in the second. Timms with a lead at first, and Liriano looks in. Here it comes. Slapped into right field for a 2-out hit. Timms will have to hold at second. 2 runners on with 2 down.
And as I mentioned, this coming up, that as we look at this changeup that he throws 2-2 auto to the plate. Good hitting by Posada. Just slaps away for a harmless single, but nothing's harmless in the postseason, Ron. Everything seems like a rally, even greater than it is. But he's got these 2 left-handers now that he can work the count, and in his favor, he has dominated left-handers. This is going to be interesting for the Yankees, see if they can get any production at all from the bottom of the lineup.
Delman Young taking the approach against Sabathia to right field, executed by Posada.
Now here's Curtis Granderson. He's the number 8 hitter. And that ball's hit hard, but Kadire makes the play. We're going to the bottom half of the second. Back here in Minnesota, bottom half of the second, scoreless in game 1 of the ALDS between the Yankees and the Twins. And here is Jim Thome, 40 years old, and the leader of this team in home runs. If you're wondering how many, just check out the number on his back, 25.
And how about his numbers, Ron? 4 for 27. You would think, okay, no big deal. 4 home runs.
All or nothing with Thome.
Was a teammate of him, and now he's playing against him. And
CC hit the corner. A ball and a strike.
Well, I can safely say if CC's going to get that pitch, he's going to be awfully tough to beat. That pitch is outer half, and certainly Thome likes the ball in, but that changes the approach of a batter when a pitch gets called on him like that.
Fouled back. We talked about A-Rod and his 600th home run this season. Jim Thome approaching that milestone. He's got 589 in his career. He's at 17 in the postseason.
Talks about those 25 home runs. That was 1 every 11 at-bats this season. Didn't play a lot till the end of the season. It's the best ratio since 2002 for Jim.
And the 1-2 hit him.
Some of the cruelties in baseball, your teammates are going to say, hey, we got ice. You can ice that. We need base runners. A mistake by CC with 2 strikes, just trying to get him off the plate a little bit. And once again, the Twins, although not fleet of foot at first, have their leadoff hitter on base.
And here's Michael Kadire talking to Ron Gardenhire before the game, and said this is really the guy who epitomizes what this Minnesota Twins team is all about. He'll play anywhere. Let him in games played. He's played the outfield. He's played third. He's played second. Starting first baseman tonight.
You know, Ron, numbers are numbers, and stats for the season are relevant for our careers and all that. But one thing that this guy likes to do, he loves to pitch every 5 days. Yeah. And when he gets more rest, he only did it once this year, 6+ days of rest, did not have a very good game at all. He loves to be in rhythm and pitch in the moment, and that's the only difference.
That ball is hit on the button to straightaway center field, and it's gone!
Well, we'll see where the pitch is. Out over the middle of the plate. Kadire going with that baseball back up the middle. And a line shot over that center field wall for a guy that's faced CC Sabathia 56 times now.
And that's that cat and mouse game that you love when you get to the postseason. Who's going to guess right? You look at the numbers, and CC 1-0, 2-0, loves to throw his fastball, and Padayer definitely knew that right there and took advantage of it.
He hit it into the black spruce trees in straightaway center field. And the thought here is that if you're going to hit it, you got to go to the corners. You hit a ball to center field, you're not going to hit a home run. And this thing cleared the wall at better than 400 feet. It's 403 at one point, 411 to another. In straightaway center field. Twins on top 2-0.
And the point I was making right before that home run, Ron, is sometimes you get out of sequence. Yeah. You know, he's had an unbelievable year, and he'll make the adjustments. The longer the game goes, the better he gets. A nice 2-run lead for Francisco Liriano, but CC loves to keep pitching and get in that mode, and he just had a little change. Hasn't pitched since September 28th.
Kubel was fooled and tapped it to Teixeira, 1 down. Keep in mind that in game 1 of the ALDS last year between these two teams, the Twins scored twice off of Sabathia, scored first in the game in the 3rd inning, but then it was all New York after that and grew to a 7-2 win. They grab a 2-0 lead here in the bottom half of the 2nd.
But that's very common for these Twins. Their last 6 losses against the Yankees, they've had the lead in every single game. I think what you're talking about, Sabathia, John, is the transformation of CC. He used to be a power pitcher who liked to strike out the world. Now he's more efficient with his pitches and more to the corners of the plate. And sometimes you can't get to the corners when you haven't pitched in so long.
Right.
This is Danny Valencia. Boy, has he been a pleasant surprise for this team. Hit .311, the best of the AL rookie crop. Way out in front. And here's the deal. He got his chance really because they weren't getting much production out of the 3rd base position early on. Brendan Harris, Nick Punto had been tried over there. And then they tried Valencia. And they may have gotten a real keeper at 3rd. Fouls that one away. In fact, since Corey Koski left in 2004, they've had 19 guys at 3rd. He wears number 19. And the streak may end there. He waits on a 1-2 from Sabathia. Tried to check. And goes down swinging.
CC's got more of a, when you look at his slider, it's more of a, I don't want to say slurve, but it's 81 miles an hour. And you look at this pitch, it has a lot of break for a slider down. Looks like the fastball. You got to get ready, and the hitter can't stay off of it. That's where his success pitch, along with his counterpart, Francisco Liriano, they're going to have a lot of success right there.
The pitch before that, fastball inside, it jammed him. So he was thinking of getting the head out a little quicker. It cost him with the slider.
This is the all initials at bat. JJ against CC. Hardy waits and takes a strike. The JJ is James Jerry Hardy. CC is Karsten Charles Sabathia. The 0-1. No balls and 2 strikes. But they made him mad with that long ball. That's down low. Ball and 2 strikes. Again, laid off, down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hardy, the number 9 hitter in the Minnesota order. Bats with 2 down here in the 2nd, and lines it over A-Rod in the left. That ball took a carom, and they've got a shot at him at 2nd. The throw
He's in there.
Gardner did a great job in left field, playing that carom, and they had a shot, but Hardy beat the throw.
Well, a slider that didn't get in the dirt, he was able to get that barrel the bat to it, and you know, you don't mind this going to second, trying to get in a scoring position with 2 outs. Great throw, almost gets him at second. The Minnesota Twins are trying to do what they haven't been able to do in a while, and that's get some momentum against the Yankees.
How about that beautiful foot first slide to the back part of the bag? Made it difficult for Cano to apply the tag.
So here's Denard Span, the top of the Minnesota order. He singled his first time. The inning started with Jim Thome hit by a pitch on the right shoulder. And then Michael Kadire unloaded a 2-run shot to straightaway center. Minnesota threatening for more. They've got a runner at second with 2 out. That's J.J. Hardy with the lead, and that's it to second. But the Minnesota Twins break out on top in front of the home folks here at Target Field. Launched by Kadire. 2-0. This American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by BlackBerry. Thanks for joining us here tonight on TBS. Absolutely ideal weather for this opener. And we move to the top half of the 3rd inning, and the number 9 hitter in Joe Girardi's lineup is Brett Gardner. Yankees have 1 hit. That came from Jorge Posada.
John, we talk about it all the time, the shutdown inning, because it's so important. Sometimes you get in these games, you get a 2-run home run, you think to yourself, the starting pitcher, that might be all I get.
Yeah, and you can also do in your first career start, you can run into a problem saying, oh, I got 2 mistakes I can make. This is a very difficult thing when you give in runs. You pitch a playoff game like you're not going to get any. And this inning is very important because you have to make sure, as he survived the first, get through this one. And you know, a left-handed hitter that makes contact, that's all you want to do. But Ron, to your point, people don't understand. You get those 2 runs, you got to forget about it. You got to pitch like it's 0-0. It's very difficult to do.
Gardner ahead 3 balls and a strike. And the count full.
Cliff Lee pitched great today. Every time he was given a run, he put up a 0 that next inning. Of course, with a no-hitter. So did Halladay.
Well, CC was getting this pitch, so Francisco says, all right, I can take that.
Liriano trying to battle all the way back. That's fouled away. The heads up in the Yankee dugout. That hit the netting, thankfully.
For our younger generation of fans, hardly remember the day when there used to not be that mesh netting in front of the dugouts.
A leadoff walk in the top of the 3rd. Visit TBS Hot Corner at MLB.com/TBS Hot Corner to watch live video companion coverage of every MLB postseason game.
I'll tell you what's difficult about that. He only walked 4 left-handers all year. And not only that, he walked the guy that has their most stolen bases, almost more than the entire Twins team. So reset the focus, say, okay, that's it. They're not going to get any more.
And in this ballpark where you should just say, here, hit it.
Gardner got 47 bags, 3rd in the American League. And he leads at first as Jeter fouls it off. Talked about Jeter's average this year at 270. His career average coming in was 317. This is his 139th postseason game. And he's hit 313 in the postseason coming in.
You know, guys, even better against left-handed pitching in the postseason. 417 has Jeter hit.
He finished the season strongly at the plate. He had gone into a pretty significant slump. There were some calls for dropping him in the order, and Joe Girardi stuck by him, said, "I believe in him." Boy, he was lucky to hang in right there. Joe Girardi's Yankees struggled down the stretch. Not unlike Minnesota. Minnesota lost 8 of their last 10. The Yankees lost 7 of their last 10. Had a chance to win the American League East. Lost on the final day in Boston while Tampa Bay was winning in extra innings, so they finished a game behind Tampa Bay. Liriano goes over.
If you want to know how tough he is, the batter's facing an 0-2 count. He's only given up a 137 batting average, 1-2, 144. That's put away stuff. That's what you need in the postseason. You've got to limit how many times they can make contact.
Ran it inside. Jeter took it. Ball and 2 strikes.
And to show you that when they put the ball in play, they're hitting 340 off of it. So 201 strikeouts in 190 some innings will offset that 340 batting average pretty nicely.
Liriano working with a 2-0 lead and throws over again to keep Gardner close.
Well, Liriano was going to get the game 1 start because he's been their best pitcher. But Brian Dunsing is going to pitch the 3rd game because the Yankees coming down the stretch, their last 9 games against left-handed pitching, they lost all 9.
Went inside again and missed. It's 2-2. The Yankee captain pumping that bat, waiting on a 2-2. Nice stop by Mauer to keep Gardner at first. Talk about what he's done in the postseason and look at those ranks.
He's been all right. We talked about 0-2, 1-2, 3-2. They're still not hitting very, 147. So 3-2 count. Doesn't mean you can sit on a fastball because of that slider.
There goes Gardner. That ball is hit well to left. Delman Young will play it on a hop. And runners are at first and second.
When you're pitching to Derek Jeter, he just commands your respect, and he gets ahead of him with 2 fastballs, beats him at the fastball, and then really never made a real. That's the pitch he could have struck out on, and he did a great job at the plate. But then really tried to jam him, worked himself into a 3-2 count, and throws a changeup, and he's able to pull it in for a base hit. Great at bat by Derek Jeter. That's why those numbers we just saw, no matter what he hit this year, that's why he's so good.
And with his stride right at the pitcher, it's almost like he tries to bully the pitcher out of the strike zone.
Nick Swisher hit the ball well his first time, lined out to second. He bats here with runners at first and second. Yankees trying to bounce right back after watching the Twins take a 2-0 lead.
If you don't think playoff baseball is different, first inning bunt by Orlando Hudson, and Swisher's bunting right here, and the third base coach may say, hey, what are you doing? Come on, we're the Yankees. We're going to put up a big spot right here. But it is a big spot for Liriano, and he's got to find a way to get this ball on the ground. He's had success with ground balls. Must get this ball on the ground from Nick Swisher.
Swisher has sacrificed 3 times this year, so anyone in that Yankee lineup, it has been Swisher.
They lead from first and second. Swisher to left. Young makes the play. Runners hold, one down.
And Ron, that's the big difference between the two leagues. Right there is a prototypical situation in National League. You're going to get a bunt. Obviously, you got the pitcher to worry about. They play for the big inning here. And the fly ball really keeps the double play in order from getting out of the inning and limiting the damage to nothing.
The only problem against the great pitchers with great stuff, hard to couple up 2 and 3 and 4 hits, lump them together.
Here's Teixeira. He tapped back to Liriano his first time. All in no strikes. He's been kind of banged up here late in the year. Broken little toe when he fouled a ball off of it. Hurt a thumb diving for a ground ball in Chicago.
Talked to him earlier today, and he gave the line that all players, when they get to this time, what are you going to do? You know,
everybody has something.
Everybody has it. Go get them.
And never any complaints for Teixeira. 69 extra base hits, 108 RBIs, always production.
You see Teixeira's splits. 284 from the right side as he faces the lefty Liriano. 2 on for the Yankees. Brett Gardner on at second. Derek Jeter on at first. And the second time through this New York lineup for Liriano.
And that's a good sign for a young pitcher making his first start. 2-0 changeup right there. You got to be controlling your emotions. You got to be confident that the pitch you're going to throw is the right pitch. You can't be negative thinking, uh-oh, if I do this, if I do that. Now they got 2 runners on. Very good 2-0 pitch. See if that can help him get through this at bat.
You can feel the uneasiness rippling through Target Field. 3 balls and 1 strike to a dangerous hitter with 2 on. Gardner with great wheels at second. Jeter leads from first. Liriano with a 3-1. Fly ball shallow right. Kubel under, makes the play. 2 down.
There's a moment, Ernie, in every playoff game where you can go, I got the pitch, I got the out, I got the play I needed to get me through the game. 3-1 pitch, first and second. Teixeira at the plate. This might have been the moment for Francisco Liriano to say, okay, reset my nerves, because he gets very anxious and you go, oh no. So look at this inning. If he gets out of it, that could be the play that gets him through the rest of the game.
The problem with the Yankees, sometimes you got to do it twice against this lineup.
Right.
He got Teixeira, now doubled up with A-Rod.
Took a deep breath after retiring Teixeira, looks up, and here's Alex Rodriguez. He flat out to right his first time, and he's behind 0-1.
Talking to the players, talking to Jim Thome, one of the things they say as a hitter, you've got to be patient. You got to slow the game down. Same thing as a pitcher. If you're too aggressive, want to be the guy, you can feed off that aggressiveness. You see that first pitch slider? That's an aggressive swing. That great pitch selection against A-Rod right there.
He's just 1 out of 10 career against Liriano. And the left-hander in the driver's seat here in the 3rd. This standing room only crowd is absolutely roaring. Runners lead from first and second. Rodriguez waits, and he struck him out. Two and a half in the books. Minnesota leads. Here's a look at Target Field. This place is absolutely magnificent in the warehouse district of downtown Minneapolis. They drew more than 3.2 million fans here this year. Got a lot of the native Minnesota limestone, and that porch in right field, kind of the focal point here at Target Field. And those perspectives were courtesy of Sony PlayStation's MLB 10, the show. We're in the bottom half of the third inning if you're just joining us here on TBS, and the Twins lead the Yankees 2-0. CC Sabathia into the line. Orlando Hudson, all-star a couple of times. The Minnesota second baseman. Laid down a sacrifice bunt his first time, and he's ahead, 2 balls and a strike. Hudson waiting on Sabathia. As we check in again with Craig Sager.
Well, CC Sabathia and Orlando Hudson, best friends during the offseason, a friendship that was forged back in 1999 in the Class A Sally League. CC's wife, Amber, over the house of Orlando Hudson's wife, Keisha, this afternoon.
Thank you, Craig. That's over, and we'll be due a payoff pitch here in the bottom half of the third. Hudson leading it off. He'll be followed by Mauer and Delman Young.
Well, for CC, he knows he's going to basically, with his body language and his experience, tell his guy without saying it, these are the only runs I'm giving up. There's your watermark. That's what we need to get. 3 runs to win. Keep it right there. This is what makes him so tough. As the game goes on, he just keeps getting better. Minnesota's battling up there, making him throw some pitches.
That ball into the hole, and a leadoff single in the third for Orlando Hudson. Well, maybe that's just about all you're going to get.
Yeah. But you got to have that mindset. You know, every inning you go out, and we look at this replay right here, a fastball over the middle of the zone, he just turns on it in the hole. You've got to have that mindset in the playoffs that each inning's got to be like a 9th inning. Everything's magnified, but you got to really do your best to make sure that you find ways to put up zeros.
Sabathia has struck out 2. One of those, the guy at the plate now, Joe Mauer, struck out his first time. He takes there. We mentioned Mauer, one of the toughest to strike out. He did fan in the first. 5th toughest to strike out in the American League. But he's facing a really tough customer in Sabathia. Hudson with a lead at first. Twins don't have a lot of speed. Certainly going to look at Denard Span as a guy who can steal a base, and Orlando Hudson has 10 this year.
Well, we talk about Posada's trouble throwing out base runners, but the one thing that counters that is CC Sabathia has a great quick move with the slide step to the plate, allows Jorge a little more time.
Ball and a strike to Mauer. Tried to check. Ryan Honora said he did check his swing.
When you see the side angle of Joe Mauer on this swing, he is so strong that even going out there with the bat, although to us 2 pitchers up here, that probably looks like a swing.
Yeah, I was already yelling under my breath. He swung.
You know, the Twins already lost Justin Morneau. Happened July 7th with the concussion. Hasn't played since. And then They kind of held their breath when the guy at the plate, Joe Mauer, jammed his knee late in the season. Missed a little bit of time, but he's back in there. That was pretty at 81 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Again, both pitchers doing a great job when they do get behind in the count. It's not an automatic fastball. Slider there from CC on the 2-1 count.
Posada looks into the Yankee dugout and then back at Sabathia for a 2-2. Outside and the count full.
Well, you got an interesting situation here, Ron. I don't know if the other Ron Gardner is going to send the runner here 3-2.
You got the lead. You got to push the envelope against CC Sabathia. Ernie just gave us the numbers on how difficult he is to strike out. Send your runner.
Mauer waiting, and CC steps off.
Well, he put down fastball. I wonder if it's going to change it to a slider. He stepped off when he saw a fastball, so it's going to be something off speed.
There goes Hudson. Ball tapped up toward first. Teixeira wins the race. And look at Orlando Hudson. Heads up. Goes first to third.
What happens on this play as this ball's tapped to Teixeira at first base is the big man Sabathia can't get over there. So Teixeira realizes that he's got to slide to make the play, but the slide takes him out of the play for Orlando Hudson, who recognizes the slide, turns second, and proceeds to third base and gets the extra base.
I'm not saying every team. There's not a lot of teams where this would happen. This is the Twins' way. They do everything they have to do to score runs, and now they put pressure on the New York defense as they pull in the infield in a 2-0 deficit. Can't afford to give up any more runs.
Well, that was 3 headfirst slides in 1 play. Here's Delman Young. That ball gets away. And it's 3-0.
This play right here, it's about the only way a runner from third can score because the backstop is so close to home plate. It takes a bad angle off the glove, which allows the fast runner to go and score from third.
Right off the heel of Posada's mitt. And it's 3-0. You talk about manufacturing a run here in the third. It's 3-zip. And a single. A ground out, and a ball that gets away from Posada. There's a ground out by Young for the second out.
We'll watch Ron Gardner, the manager. He's waving the runner in. Forget about the third base coach. You don't think they want this game?
You know, when I first saw that live, Ron, I thought it crossed him up, but it just hit the heel of the glove, and then I thought he fouled it.
Well, along with throwing, this has been a problem for Posada all season long. The veteran catcher 8 pass balls during the regular season.
And this one here in the third cost the Yankees a run. Here's Jim Thome. Thome was hit by a pitch his first time and scored in front of Michael Kadire, who launched a 2-run shot in the second. Listen to this crowd. The Thome chant in full throat.
Well, it just goes to show you never take anything for granted. The Minnesota Twins do not do that. Going from second to third on that play was so huge because the opportunity to get a pass ball is probably not great, but it happened. And they scored without actually making contact.
Steady diet of off-speed stuff as Thome looking. 2 balls and a strike. He just has the stance of a power hitter. Points the bat, brings it back, takes a strike. 2-2.
Well, 2 unhittable pitches there on 2-0 and 2-1 to Thome. First the slider and then the fastball, John.
Yeah, this is dotting it, even if it isn't in the strike zone. He went right where the catcher's glove was, and Mr. Crawford gave him the benefit of the doubt.
2-2. Checked. Count full. Had a few of those in this inning.
John, you're pitching here. Kadire in his first at bat hit you for a 2-run home run. Thome might get a pitch to hit here.
Yeah, you know, there is such a thing as a carryover effect, knowing who's on deck and what they did before.
John, as you pointed out earlier, all 4 of his hits in his career off Sabathia have been home runs. 4 for 27. And he had a good rip at that one.
Well, he gave him the fastball. If there's ever a time to throw a slider, now's it, because he got him in aggressive mode. They both were guessing fastball. The ball was a little bit up. He didn't get to it. See if he goes to a pitch breaking out of the zone and get Thome thinking fastball.
You're not safe with a fastball away because Thome can hit the ball out to left field.
Hit hard, but right into the shift. And Robinson Cano made the play. The Twins add to their lead. A pass ball and a 3-0 advantage. Hey, it's time for EJ's Mailbag, presented by BlackBerry. Tonight's question comes from Andy in Memphis, Tennessee. Is Ron Gardenhire the best manager in baseball? If not, who is? And the great thing about EJ's Mailbag is I say I open them and I give them to you guys. Smoltzy, Ron Darling, is he the manager of the year?
This is the year of the pitcher. It's also the year of the manager. There's so many guys that have done a great job, and he is one of them. And certainly, gosh, I have all the respect in the world for how he's gotten his team back to the playoffs when everyone said, no, ain't going to happen.
Well, in a year where Torrey's going home, Bobby Cox is going home, La Russa, you could call this almost the golden age of managers. And the next wave is led by guys like Mike Scioscia and Ron Gardenhire.
Robinson Cano leading it off in the 4th. Takes a strike, 1-1. Gardenhire, for his part, says publicly he's not bothered by the fact that he hasn't won Manager of the Year. But he says, look, no matter what happens, I'm going to go bowling with my buddies and drive my RV. Good approach. Rounded it short. Hardy made a nice play and threw out Cano.
So did you like our answers? We really didn't answer it.
No, I would hope that the next time we open EJ's Mailbag, it would be a little more definitive.
Well, I'll say this. How about this for definitive? Gardenhire, first manager ever to go to the postseason 6 times in his first 9 seasons. So, yeah, give it to him, Ernie.
Oh, I give it to him this year. Marcus Timms, the DH, swinging at the first pitch into right center field, and Denard Span makes that play quickly. 2 up and 2 down. You know, he was involved in a kind of a scary episode the other day during batting practice. He's taken throws at first base. J.J. Hardy's turning 2 and throwing to him. And for some reason, Alexi Casilla decided to throw over at first at the same time. Hit Gardenhire right in the right ear. He had to have surgery. That night, they went in there and worked on it. And he said, look, I'm a pretty tough guy, but those last 8 stitches, I'm telling the doctor, you know, I'm feeling that a little bit. I'm feeling that a little bit. He said it was absolutely no fun. And as Posada swings and misses, also said he's been telling Casilla all season long, put something on your throws, quit lobbing it. Didn't know he was going to pick BP to finally do that.
I thought you were going to say Casilla was mad he wasn't in the game because he's 9 for 13 off of CC.
Well, there's a story behind that, too, because Gardenhire told us before the game, he looked at those career numbers and said, oh, they're all in 2007. Okay, never mind.
And 6 of them never left the infield.
Yeah. Liriano's looking for his second 1-2-3 inning. He retired him in order in the first. We're playing now in the top half of the fourth. Yankees have 2 hits. Posada has 1 of them.
What I've been impressed already is his command of his fastball. People don't understand. You may have the greatest slider in the world, which he has a really good one, but it doesn't mean that much if you don't get your fastball in an area where they recognize it, saying, hey, that's a fastball. Nope, that's a slider. And he's really been able to pitch straight forward with his fastball. As Ron Gardenhire said, sometimes he rushes too much when he gets out of sync.
Posada caught looking. 3 up, 3 down for Liriano. TBS this November, the most anticipated television event since television's last most anticipated event. Conan premieres November 8th at 11:10 Central only on TBS. The promo writers are getting really good. There's Michael Kadire. He had the first RBI at this field in the regular season and the first in the postseason. A 2-run shot off Sabathia in the second. This time he pops up to first. It's time to talk, brought to you by Charles Schwab. Joining us is the Yankees manager, Joe Girardi. Joe, what makes Liriano so tough as far as your approach goes in this game?
Well, he's got an outstanding slider. He's got a couple different ones, and he's got a very good changeup, and he's able to locate his fastball. He's got good run when it's away, and he can throw the 4-seamer in. He just knows how to mix his pitches.
Joe, this is John Smoltz. When he had him on the ropes there in the first and second inning, I saw Swisher bunting. Did he do that on his own? Was that something he just...
Yeah, strategy is not something we talk about, but I mean, there's a situation where you're down 2 runs, and you're trying to get back in the ball game. And you know, we had an opportunity in the second, like you said. It was a 2-out opportunity, and we had first and second with nobody out in the third inning. We weren't able to capitalize. We got to capitalize, or it's hard to win.
Jason Kubel just knocked the air out of this place with that swing. Ball and a strike. This is the guy who hit the first home run here at Target Field. Off of Scott Atchison of the Red Sox back on April 12th. But his biggest stroke of the year was that grand slam off Mariano Rivera at Yankee Stadium to win a game in that place, which Minnesota desperately needed. Yankees have really had their number.
Wait, they had lost 10 in a row in the Bronx and had to get something going for Ron Gardenhire's team, and they beat the great Mariano Rivera.
Sabathia with a 2-2. Checked his swing, count full, and here was the granny off a Mo.
Pretty good pitch. Pretty good 9-iron.
Minnesota was 0-10 last year, including the postseason. They were 2-4 this year against the Yankees. That ball hit to left center field. Gardner back, edge of the track, makes the play. CC hasn't had a 1-2-3 inning yet, but he has a chance here in the fourth.
Well, tomorrow night's starter, Andy Pettit's going to be watching this game and this film. Being left-handed, has the advantage of seeing how CC attacks the hitters and how he's approaching the game, whereas Pavano really is not going to get a whole lot out of the effort, even though he'd like to see it a 1-0 lead, you know, 1-0 when he's pitching.
How in depth was your studying of a pitcher, if you thought it was going to apply? You said, you know, for Pettit it will. What would you do in the course of a game then, John?
Well, the biggest thing I did, and a lot of us did, we watched the game on TV. We didn't have quite the video outbreak that exists today, but we watched it on TV. You could see a whole lot with the viewer sitting home. You could see right there what that hitter was doing on that inside pitch that you can't see from the dugout so much. So, you know, when Glavine pitched, obviously I didn't get a chance to see much because I wasn't going to go off of him, but for the Yankees, they're going to have back-to-back left-handers attacking I'm assuming the same lineup, and they're going to learn. Andy's going to get to see a firsthand report.
Valencia takes a ball and 2 strikes. He struck out his first time. CC has struck out 2. Has not walked a batter, but did hit Jim Thome, which preceded the 2-run homer by Kadire. It's 3-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Talked about Valencia's average of .311, the best among AL rookies. He was second in on-base percentage behind John Jaso of the Tampa Bay Rays. Little video postcard for you here from Minneapolis if you're just joining us. In game 3 of our postseason triple-header on TBS, day number 1. Valencia goes down swinging for the second time. 4 innings in the books. Minnesota shutting out New York.
The MLB Division Series on TBS is brought to you by the new Sharp Aquas Quatron 3D TV. You have to see it to see it. And by YP.com. Click less, live more.
The Yankees have managed just 2 hits through 4. We go to the 5th. They're at Target Field. It'll be 8-9-1 for New York. Curtis Granderson grounded out to first his first time. Shortened up to bunt and had Danny Valencia on the run from third. Ron Darling, big inning here at the top of the 5th.
So huge. You got the 8th, 9th hitters. If you can go through these 2, you get Jeter with no one on, and just a huge inning when you're not in the middle of the lineup. If these guys get on base, then all their big hitters are up.
Granderson takes. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Kevin Long, the Yankees batting coach, instrumental in getting Curtis Granderson straightened out, especially against left-handed pitching where he had really struggled earlier this year. That ball fouled back right underneath. And John, I saw you flinch.
For good reason.
Thinking back to that day at Fenway Park when you could not handle that foul ball cleanly. Although you were hit cleanly. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And he struck him out for the first out here in the 5th. It is time to talk, brought to you by Charles Schwab. Joining us, the Minnesota Twins manager Ron Gardenhire. And Ron, I thought for a moment you might be taking flight when the run scored on the pass ball. You were waving in that dugout. There's a lot of excitement in that dugout tonight.
Well, you're pretty close to home plate right here. So actually we got the best view of it, and I saw it bounce. So went back to my third base coaching days when I started waving.
Great energy play, Ron, by Orlando Hudson. What has he meant to your ball club this season?
Yeah, you know what? He's been there. He's done it. He knows how to play. He's loud. And he's not afraid to tell the guys, hey, here we go, let's go. So you know what, that's heads up baseman right there. You know, we start him on the play, and you know, he sees, he looks back, and he never stopped. And you know, that's what you need to do.
Brett Gardner, one of the best on this Yankee club at working counts. He walked his first time in the 3rd. Reached second when Derek Jeter singled, but then Liriano buckled down and retired the next 3. Lays it down, foul, ball and 2 strikes.
You know, the one thing though, John, when you're watching this game, if you're CC Sabathia or Liriano, you've noticed that Jerry Crawford, the home plate umpire, if you need to get a strike outside to the left-handed hitters, you can get a few more inches.
Absolutely. There's always a side an umpire is going to favor because he can't cover both sides. He'd be guessing a little bit on the inside if he leans outside and vice versa.
See what Liriano comes up with the 1-2. That's 3 straight strikeouts for the lefty.
Well, you see his money pitch is his slider. 3-2, he struck out Granderson, and he gets ahead of the count and throws that, looks like a fastball, tight spin. The hitter's trying to stay on it, and he doesn't. It's really been a feast or famine year, Ron, for Francisco. In his 14 wins, 1.57 ERA. In his 10 losses, 7.97 ERA. So he's either really good or not so good.
He's retired 8 in a row, 4 by strikeout. Here's Jeter. He struck out in the first, singled in the third. Yankees only have 2 hits. They did put 2 runners on in both the second and the third, but couldn't bring them around.
Well, you got to give credit where credit's due. Remember, this is a young man that missed the entire 2007 season because of Tommy John surgery.
To center. Another 3 up, 3 down inning. 4.5 in the books. Let's take a look at the language of the game, brought to you by Foster's. In the American League, the lowest first pitch swing percentage, and J.J. Hardy at the top of the list at 5.3%, Ron.
Well, that's just amazing. When you see that kind of number, the pitchers know that number also and try to take advantage of that by making sure they pump in that first pitch strike. But just some hitters need to see that first pitch to gauge the speed of the starting pitcher.
And the only time I wouldn't pay attention to that number is if the bases are loaded or runner on second. I ain't taking a chance there if I feel like he's going to, try and sneak attack me.
Beware of the ambush. Bottom half of the 5th, Hardy to lead it off. Does he take the first pitch?
Yes.
I would have too, way outside. 1-0.
Would you have?
Ernie spent his childhood taking the first pitch. Forget about it.
And the second and the third. Not a good recipe. They said before the game, and obviously one of the things Minnesota wants to do, you're trying to work that pitch count up against a guy like CC Sabathia. Make him work. Two balls and a strike.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Managers are each one's going with opposite theories. Gardenhire says, I think we'll stretch him out a little bit more, Liriano, because he's not going to pitch game 4. We've already decided we're going with 4 game starters. Joe Girardi says pretty much they're going with 3.
Well, I think some of the things that are different for Minnesota this year than from last year, they have a little more depth with guys like Hardy and Hudson and Thome. Also, they did not have to play a game 163. Came in a little fresher. And, of course, open-air postseason baseball here at Target Field.
Under ideal conditions tonight for game 1. Hardy fouls it off down the right side. He doubled in the second, right down the line. And then beat the throw to second. Hit the padding down there in foul territory on the left field side. Gardner made a strong throw, but he just did beat it. That ball's hit to center. Granderson. 1 down.
You know what I find amazing about the Minnesota Twins and learning more about them and seeing them play this year, and yeah, they've made some changes. When they put the ball in play to a man, they hit nearly 300 or above. That's an impressive statistic, which tells you that their approach, not going to strike out much. They're going to put it in play. They're not going to steal and hit home runs, but what a great approach they've been able to get their players to buy into. When they put the ball in play, they're going to get a hit 3 out of 10 times at least.
Span shortened up to bunt, and it nearly nipped him. They are a tight-knit group. Ron Gardenhire, when they were struggling a little bit right before the All-Star break, as you look at that replay, had a speech for them in Detroit just before the break. Carl Pavano says, you know what, that was one of the turning points for us this season. Michael Kadire says, I don't remember what he said. Gardner says, you know, Kadire's heard so many of those speeches, he probably tunes them out. There's some firewood on a slow roller to first. And that's 2 out. Catch all the action of the 2010 Major League Baseball Division Series on TBS. Certainly hope you were tuning in earlier today to watch the Texas Rangers win the opener in Tampa Bay. David Price got roughed up a bit. You know, Cliff Lee had a bases loaded situation in the first. And it was like, if you guys aren't going to take advantage, it's the only chance you're getting. So Texas wins the opener there, and then Roy Halladay, untouchable at home in Philadelphia, a no-hitter against the Cincinnati Reds in his first postseason start. Guys, I know we are all shaking our heads up there, but especially you guys who have a lot of postseason experience on the mound.
And what's interesting, 4 guys today making their first career postseason, Francisco Liriano being the 4th. But I think with Doc, he had so many years of experience. Still, that's pretty filthy to go out there and throw a no-hitter. And now he's done. He's done. He's got nowhere from there. He's done.
Yes, what in the name of Don Larson was going on today in Philadelphia?
You and I, John, led the booth in goosebumps up here as he was trying to get those last 3 outs. 9th inning, 10 pitches, 8 strikes, no hitter.
Orlando Hudson fouls it off. In fact, when it got down to that point, they put it on the huge screen here at Target Field, and it was in the latter stages of the Yankees BP, and you got guys standing in the outfield just watching the big screen, and everybody here was transfixed to see if he could do it. I don't know if I didn't see the entire game because obviously we were working. I didn't see one ball hard hit off him in the time we were able to watch.
Well, he was destined for greatness from day one. He had a few stops and starts, but his second start in the major leagues, he had a no-hitter for 8 2/3, and finally completes it this season with a perfect game during the regular season and a no-hitter in his first game as a playoff competitor. In fact, there was some talk that, you know, Halladay might have some nerves going into this game. Well, he managed him pretty well.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Hudson stays alive, and I'll tell you this, watching his post-game interview with David Aldridge there at Citizens Bank Park, if I had just tuned in, I would say, what, he'd pitch a 6-hitter and win? I mean, he was so matter-of-fact. And that's part of the charm and part of the success for Doc Halladay. That ball's hit to third. Rodriguez throws him out. Another 1-2-3 inning, second straight for CC. We're heading to the 6th. If you're just joining us, you picked the perfect time. It's the Travelers mid-game recap. Michael Kadire hung an ornament on that spruce tree out there for a 2-run shot, and then Orlando Hudson heads up, goes first to third on a ground out, then scores on a pass ball. That's all the scoring. Twins on top 3-0, and Francisco Liriano has been in control. John, you talked before the game about what you expected or what you thought Minnesota needed to see out of Liriano. How's that matching up?
It's been fantastic. His composure, his mechanics, everything has been slow, meaning the game's not too fast for him. You come into a game and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get this out. I got to get this batter. And he has just been really in control. And the moment that I think the 3-1 pitch to Tex is the turning moment of the game. And it's allowed him to just relax and say, that 3-run lead right now seems like 9-0. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, that came in the 3rd inning, had a couple on. He got a fly ball out of Teixeira for the 2nd out, then struck out A-Rod.
But you know, you mentioned the pass ball and the ability of Hudson to score. He got to third base because he was running on that 3-2 count. Good base running, Twins base running, the way they usually play baseball. They haven't always done that in the past. Last year, Nick Punto and Carlos Gomez both hurt the Twins with bad base running gaffes.
Nick Swisher is 0 for 2. He lined to second, wide out to left. And the count now 2-2 as he leads off the 6th. set down 10 straight. Let us check in again with Craig Sager.
Well, this is the Francisco Liriano that Twins fans remember from his rookie year in 2006 when he went 12-3 with a 2.16 ERA. But then he had elbow surgery. He's been trying to make a comeback ever since. Things were so bad at the end of last year. He had lost his confidence. He had a tired arm. They sent him back home for the Dominican Republic. He made 7 starts in winter ball, was 3-1 with a 0.49 ERA, led his team to the Dominican Championship and the Caribbean Championship. No guarantee of a spot in the rotation. But here he is, their ace tonight.
And he gives up a shot to Mark Teixeira into the corner. Teixeira with a double, with 1 down.
Well, you see the pitch here from Liriano, trying to go away with that fastball. He left it up in the strike zone. And also Teixeira just eats up pitchers that leave balls up in the strike zone. Able to pull that ball down the line.
Here's Rodriguez in Liriano's last start. It was September 30th. He gave up 3 home runs in this ballpark to the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, the Blue Jays hit a bunch of them, led baseball. Edwin Encarnacion took him deep twice. And Jose Molina. That misses. Gave up 3 homers in his first 26 starts and 6 in his last 5. As I mentioned, 3 against Toronto. Rodriguez takes a strike. 1-1. A runner in scoring position for the Yankees, who have yet to score off Liriano, who wants Joe Mauer to start again. And he flashes signals. Got the sign he wanted and missed. Well, 2 balls and a strike. You talked about the importance of the 5th inning run, and he went 3 up, 3 down here. Now you're in the 6th. You got a runner on with A-Rod and Cano and Timms, who you've had trouble with, coming up.
Well, this is where the Yankees do their trouble. Give you lots of trouble.
Breaking pitch over. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Again, Liriano, though, with the ability, when he's behind in the count, able to spin a little slider on the outside part to get him back in the count.
A-Rod is 0 for 2. He's flied out, struck out his last time. Here comes the 2-2. Gets away from Mauer, who will not have a play. And Teixeira makes his way to 3rd. First time the Yankees have had a runner that far in this game.
Well, no chance for Mauer to make this play. Hard slider, almost hits A-Rod. He chases it down, but cannot get your body out in front when a pitcher throws that kind of slider. And those on-deck circles are so dangerous. They're so slippery with the spikes of the players.
Well, he overthrew that slider. See if he can make the change right here and get it more over the plate and get a big strikeout with runner on 3rd.
Fly ball would plate the first run. A walk puts him on the corners with 1 down.
Well, earlier in the game, he did a magical job against A-Rod. In this at bat, he really tried to change it up. He established the fastball. He got a call right there. Might have got away with a pitch, and then he tried to go back to the slider when he got ahead of him. And here's where he overthrew his slider and then really tried to paint a fastball in, but he walked him.
And so in a 3-0 game, Robinson Cano, with power, stands at the plate, representing the tying run. They're at the corners with 1 out. Cano hasn't gotten it out of the infield in 2 trips tonight.
And with Cano, you don't have the same problem against left-handed pitching. He had 13 home runs against left-handed pitching this year. That led the American League.
He hit 29 on the season and knocked in 109 runs. And on the road, he hit 341. Nobody in the American League was better. And he's in a big spot on the road here in Game 1 of the ALDS. Time called.
Interesting how these hitters for the Yankees have slowed this game down. Stepping out, taking their time.
The runners lead. Cano hits it sharply into right field. That'll score the first New York run in there at first and second.
Well, to your point, Ron, he just stays on the baseball so well. And the Yankees not only are hanging around, but you look at this replay, a fastball in, and he just stays on it and just turns on it. Gets a base hit. And the Yankees had 48 come from behind wins this year. Minnesota has seen this before. They've seen their leads go awry, and the crowd gets a little restless as Rick Anderson's going out to make sure that he just calms down his pitcher.
Great job by Rodriguez to avoid that ball.
He avoided that ball, but it cost him going from first to third on that hit from Cano. Cano was just so quick inside. It's almost, I wouldn't say guessed, but it's almost like he looked inside on that fastball from Liriano.
A meeting of the minds on the mound. And now the Twins retreat to their positions, and it is never easy. This is the toughest spot of the game so far for Liriano. A run in, 2 on, and Marcus Timms at the plate, who's homered 3 times in his career off the left-hander. Beat him at 93, 0-1. Activity in the Minnesota bullpen. Jose Majerus is the lefty, Jesse Crain the right-hander. Rodriguez at second. Cano at first. Timms waits on an 0-1. And Liriano ahead 0-2.
Interesting, in trouble against the guy that hits him very hard. 2 straight fastballs on the outside corner. Very aggressive by Liriano.
Liriano has thrown 96 pitches. Hudson cheating over toward the bag at second, and Timms goes down swinging.
If you're a hitter, he's got a funky delivery, and really everything is the same. His fastball looks like a slider. That's why the guys are so fooled. The pitch difference in speed is definitely giving them off balance, and they can't recognize the pitch. And when you're seeing that kind of delivery and the release point being the same, that's what makes a pitcher tough to hit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strikeouts now for Liriano, and here's Posada with 2 down. Liriano trying to get out of the 6th inning with limited damage. The Yankees have gotten on the board. Teixeira doubled and came around to score on Cano's single. Nowhere near, ball and a strike.
There's 5 or 6 outs that you have to get over the course of a postseason game if you're going to have a great game. You talked about the pitch to Teixeira. Well, this is another moment here for Liriano.
Yeah, the pitch to Teixeira allowed him to give up a run here and then pitch in this situation, Ron, to your point. He does have a left-hander up behind him. He overthrew that fastball, but every slider that's been good has been in the zone, dives out of the zone. That's what's given the hitters, the right-handed hitters, so much trouble, because it looks like a fastball and it's down at their back foot.
Posada's 1 out of 2. He singled and was called out on strikes. This is inside and misses.
You look at this pitch right here, and you can see that good movement, but well off the plate.
He hits triple digits on the pitch count. And now he's behind 3-1.
It's interesting, isn't it, with Jerry Crawford, home plate umpire? That side of the plate, if a left-hander's up, he'll give you a little leeway. If a right-hander's up, no way. It's got to be right on the corner.
Pitch number 102 is a biggie here, folks. The 3-1. Lined over the glove of Hudson. That'll score a run, and it's 3-2.
This is just really good hitting by a professional hitter who knows that 3-1, he's going to throw him a slider. Don't try to pull it. Go the other way. And the Yankees are right back in this ball game.
What a great game plan from Posada. Both of his hits have gone to right field, and 4 of the 5 hits that Liriano has given up is while he's pitched from the stretch.
Now here's Curtis Granderson. See Rodriguez having scored the second New York run. It's a 3-2 game in the 6th.
When you're in this situation, you pretty much know the sense of the game, that this is your last inning. And you go, I just got to get this out. I got to give my team the lead. I've done my job for 6 innings. I've got to get it out. And you start grinding really hard.
The spring in his step for CC Sabathia in what is now a 3-2 game. Granderson with a count of 1-1. Checked. 2 balls and a strike.
When you start to get tired and you're in pressure situations, most young pitchers try to caveman baseball, power their way through the hitter. Much better to locate your pitches.
Absolutely, and this is when you start, the negative type thinking starts creeping in if you haven't had the experience to go, okay, no big deal.
That ball's hit a towering shot to right field. Back to that wall, and it's off the scoreboard. This game is tied. And now the Yankees, what an inning, have taken the lead 4-3. That ball was a mile high.
Well, he challenged him with a fastball. He left it up in the strike zone. And Granderson, after tweaking his swing in Texas, has been hitting unbelievable the last 2 months of the season. And you can see the runners. That ball was so high, no problem with both runs scoring. And Granderson easily to third with a triple.
Posada scores the tying run. That's all for Francisco Liriano. The knockout punch delivered by Curtis Granderson. Here in the 6th. The Yankees lead it by 1. This American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by BlackBerry. 5 2/3 innings for Francisco Liriano. Struck out 2 there in the 6th, but Teixeira with a double, a walk to A-Rod, Cano with an RBI single, Posada with a big hit, and then Curtis Granderson with the 2-run triple.
Pitching coach Rick Anderson trying to comfort Liriano.
So Jose Mijares takes over here in the 6th.
As you look at his numbers, real good job coming into this year. Started off a little shaky. He's been really good in the stretch where did not give up a run for a lot of appearances. He's got to really get this out right here and reset the focus. The crowd, the energy, everything's been zapped with that one hit right there with 2 outs.
Granderson is at 3rd. Gardner takes a strike. Gardner has walked and struck out.
You know, my notes before the game, I made a mental note saying you got to take care of the left-handers if you're Liriano. You must own the left-handers, and tonight he did not in key situations. Cano and then Granderson. He was so tough on left-handers all year. You just kind of assume that he's just going to continue that mode, and big hits by left-handers in this inning.
And you have to be careful here with Mijares on the mound against Gardner. Not averse with 2 outs to laying a bunt down.
He's the 8th Yankee hitter in the inning. That ball down low. It's not a sure thing if there is a pass ball or wild pitch in this ballpark. There's that limestone backstop, and the ball can rocket right back to the catcher. Runners really have to be aware. Granderson is that runner at 3rd. The pitch to Gardner. 3-1. You talk about a restless feeling in this ballpark right now. What had been a 3-0 lead for Minnesota erased here in the 6th. That's foul down the left side. And the count full.
You almost feel, Ernie, that the fans here are like, oh no, not this again. But this is what this Yankee team does.
They've seen this movie before, but there's a long way to go in this one. Only the top of the 6th. Good at bat for Gardner. He's a tough out. Hit 277 this year. Stole 47 bases, and great guy to have at that bottom of the lineup as you turn it over. To short. Hardy's got to hurry and gets him by a step. But what an inning for the New York Yankees. Highlighted by this shot by Curtis Granderson that scored 2. Yankees by 1.
The MLB Division Series on TBS is brought to you by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you. Visit thenewlogistics.com. And by the G Series. Gatorade has evolved.
Bottom half of the 6th inning in game 1 of the ALDS between the Twins and the Yankees in Minnesota. After leading 3-0, now trailing 4-3, and they got Joe Mauer to lead it off. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Grounded to first and waved at that. 0-2.
Well, we had the young Liriano who came out like gangbusters against this Yankee team, and the steady plodding of the veteran CC Sabathia as he tries to put up a shutdown inning.
The 0-2 to Mauer. And he has gone down swinging for the 2nd time tonight. Take me inside the mind of CC Sabathia as we look at tonight's John Hancock leaderboard with Delman Young coming to the plate. Dangerous hitter and a guy who knocked in 112 runs. 5th in the American League. So CC staked now to a lead after trailing 3-0, John.
Well, it's like we said earlier, he basically, without the pass ball, said that's all they're getting. You know, guys, go get me some. It's a shot of adrenaline you can't measure when a starting pitcher keeps you in the ball game, then your team rewards you, so now it goes back. You know, if last inning was a teeter-totter, it just swung big time to New York, and Minnesota's tired of seeing the teeter-totter going one way. They've never had a come-from-behind win in the playoffs in their last, or they have not had one in their last 20 games. So for a new stadium and a new era and a club that says they're going to beat the Yankees, they're going to have to do something they haven't done in the last 20 games, Ron.
And it's the same story. Last 6 losses against the Yankees, they've had the lead. And that lead always seems to dissipate.
Sabathia has set down 10 in a row. That ball is launched to deep left field. Gardner back and makes the play.
Well, first Granderson with his moonshot and Delman Young taking his shot. Good pitch from Sabathia. Nice play by Gardner. Getting all the way back there. Preparing if he had the lead for that ball and did not have to.
Earlier in the day in BP, balls were being launched into left field.
With 2 down, here's Jim Thome.
Now, in this big Target field, I think there's been a lot of shaking of the heads for the Minnesota Twins. 116 home runs hit at Target Field. 223 at Yankee Stadium. Big difference.
Thome's got the longest one on record in this ballpark, estimated at 480. He hit it off the flagpole, the American flag right there in the middle.
Yeah, I've heard of honoring the Stars and Stripes, but that's ridiculous.
That'll make you salute. That thing, they estimated that would have carried over the gate, which is 51 feet past the flagpole. I mean, this thing was belted.
That's how you got to give them up. If you're a pitcher, you don't want wall scrapers. You know, give me another ball. That's how you give them up.
You want something to admire.
Yeah.
Thome waits on a 2-1 from Sabathia, and it's in close again. He hit him already tonight. On a pitch a little closer than that. Got him on the shoulder in the second. The 3-1. And Minnesota has a base runner with 2 down. This is what Michael Kadire did in the second inning. 2-run shot that scored Jim Thome. And with 2 out here in the 6th, Thome at first. And Kadire takes. Jorge Posada wants a word with CC.
Well, Kadire, in his tenure here in a Twins uniform, the best postseason hitter. 365 average coming into tonight's ball game.
Posada wanted to talk to CC, and Dave Island wants to talk to them both.
You know what New York still has, despite the question marks on the pitching staff, they still have the opposing team counting the innings down going, hey boys, we're going to have to get something done before Mariano comes in.
Yeah.
And now they've added Kerry Wood, so you shorten the game at this point. And CC knows it. CC's one of those guys that goes 7-8 innings and say, here to Mariano. It'll be interesting to see how Joe plays this series based on the usage of Mariano, because we all know in the postseason he's probably the best pitcher that's ever come out of the pen.
Kadire on the button to left, and what a catch by Gardner. Now the ball gets away. Gardner had it and then lost it. And runners are at second and third. Almost a spectacular catch by Brett Gardner.
And really just about anybody but Jim Thome running could have scored a tying run.
Well, nice try here by Gardner. just off the end of his glove. Wasn't able to close that leather around the ball. Pops out of his glove. And only the speed of Gardner got him anywhere near that play anyways. A nice backup by Granderson in center.
So they're at second and third for Jason Kubel. He's 0 for 2.
Well, that ball in the dirt, you saw Posada go to his knees. A lot of pressure on a catcher after he's had a pass ball with a guy on third. Make sure that ball stays in front of you.
After setting down 11 straight, a 2-out walk and a double, have runners at second and third and have the Twins in business.
Good patience so far from a guy that's nasty from the left-hand side. As I said earlier, it's interesting that left-handers actually hitting higher off of CC Sabathia than right-handers. You wouldn't think with the stuff that he has that left-handers could stay in there.
Three balls and no strikes.
Well, you look at this and you say, why isn't Sabathia going after the left-handed hitter, Kubel? Well, Kubel has great power. You got a rookie on deck in Valencia who already has 2 strikeouts in the game. You never want to put a guy on, be an add-on run, but the rookie is up next.
The automatic 3-1.
On the 3-0 counts this year, CC Sabathia has thrown a fastball 100% of the time. So that trend continues.
Runners lead from second and third. Tying run 90 feet away. They're loaded. You see David Robertson, the right-hander, loosening in the New York pen.
Cliff Lee in his win against Tampa Bay had his bases loaded trouble in the first inning. They got him going. This is CC Sabathia's moment.
Saw Yankees GM Brian Cashman, and there's manager Joe Girardi. As you pointed out, Ron, Danny Valencia, the young Minnesota third baseman.
Here's a test right now. A young player in his first postseason. Can he be patient, or will he come out in the first pitch trying to be aggressive?
He has struck out twice and takes a ball 1-0. What a spot for Valencia.
CC approached that pitch right there as he was going to be aggressive, throwing his slider. Talk about a first moment in your big league career. Bases loaded, 2 outs against CC Sabathia.
Downstairs, 2-0. Valencia has had 2 grand slams this season.
That is great patience from a young player, Ron, that you don't get it. You don't see that very often. They want to get up there and be the hero with the crowd cheering.
Close with that pitch. Prepare for the 3-0 fastball from CC Sabathia. We're tied.
Well, we talked about it. CC, a veteran, going, okay, I got this guy. He's going to swing. No, he doesn't. Great patience. Another good change up. He doesn't swing. 2-0. A close pitch. He lays off it. Of course, ball 4. And we got a tie game.
And here's J.J. Hardy trying to untie it.
See, and that's a situation right there where a guy's patience, 5% he swings at the first pitch, gave CC an opportunity to just say right down the middle.
Hardy is doubled and flied out. He bats with the bases loaded. Postseason baseball, does it get any better than this? Tie game in the 6th inning with the bases loaded. The Yankees ace CC Sabathia trying to dig his way out of a bases loaded jam. J.J. Hardy, his former teammate with the Milwaukee Brewers.
That was one of those moments you hate to be in as a pitcher. Did not want to get it behind the count. Kind of said, I'm going to throw this as hard as I can. Down the middle.
You think a manager's, it's not an easy job. You're trying to guess right now with CC, how far can he go? Making that decision, knowing your pitcher, that's your horse, that's your ace. Having the confidence to say he's got enough to make this pitch and get us in the ball, in the dugout tied.
And 2 strikes. CC at 110. Two with 2 out. And he got it. Huge strikeout for Sabathia here in the 6th. But the Twins score, and we're tied. The bullpen spotlight is delivered by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you. The spotlight falls on Jesse Crane, John.
This is one of the most important guys in the pen for Minnesota. He can get in there, mix and match. He's got a great fastball, slider, curveball, change. Primarily going to go to the slider. Loves his slider. He's going to throw it almost 50-50 compared to his fastball. But he's the guy that can mix and match. 62 strikeouts in 71 innings. Going to have to go through the heart of the lineup of the Yankees in a tie game, Ron.
For a team that always could go to Joe Nathan, now they're doing it with strength in numbers. Jesse Crane has been outstanding all season long, and they have those 3 closers down in the bullpen. John Roush, Brian Fuentes, and Matt Capps.
Derek Jeter leads it off here in the 7th in a tie game and swings and misses. Jeter with a single and 3 trips.
He's got a little bit of a herky-jerky motion, a fastball that rides in at 95 plus, and you just saw that breaking ball that just was sharp and fooled a great hitter in Derek Jeter.
Quickly ahead, 0-2. See the career numbers for Jeter against Crane as he leads off the 7th.
Once again, when you first look at it, it always looks good. Pitcher wants it, but it's just off the plate. Mr. Crawford getting that right.
It's almost like Jesse Crane uses his fastball just to kind of set up his slider. Throws it every 3rd or 4th pitch just to make sure you stay off that speed of the slider.
And you saw miles per hour. It's pretty darn good fastball.
Crane, the third Minnesota pitcher. Liriano went 5 2/3, followed by Majerus. And that ball is hit right on the button, but right at Denard's span. One down. Let's check in Atlanta with Matt Weiner. Matt.
Thank you, Ernie. It's time for a game break presented by Bank of America. If you missed it earlier, history tonight in Philadelphia. Roy Halladay with just the second postseason no-hitter ever, his second no-hitter of this season as the Phillies take a 1-0 win over the Reds. He needed just 104 pitches, threw one over the minimum. Phillies up 1-0. Back to your drama in Minnesota.
Yes, indeed. Tie game here in the top half of the 7th inning. Nick Swisher with one down. Swisher batting from the left side now against the right-hander Crane, and 25 of his 29 home runs came from this side of the plate. Up the middle, base hit. So the Yankees with a base runner here in the 7th. Now in between innings, CC Sabathia, after giving up that run to tie the game.
Yeah, this is a moment you go through as a pitcher every once in a while. You know you've let a big moment go by. 2 outs, nobody on, Ron. Seems harmless. Nothing's going to go wrong. All of a sudden, Yankees are tied.
All of a sudden, that shutdown inning idea vanishes. This is Teixeira. One of 3 switch hitters in that Yankees starting lineup tonight. And he turns around to the left side. Joe Girardi and his Yankees in a dogfight in Game 1 with the Minnesota Twins here at Target Field. Teixeira ahead. Hitters count 2-0. Crane to the plate. He had a good cut. Let's go back to May 15th and this matchup. And this one at Yankee Stadium, and a no-doubter by Teixeira. Change of venue now as they play at Target, and the stakes even higher. 2 balls and a strike.
Right now he's got him set up for that hard breaking ball. To get Mark Teixeira, you got to get him to swing over a breaking ball. He's a good fastball hitter, as we saw that home run, Ernie. But right now, 2-2, great chance for him to see those 2 pitches down in the zone, try to bounce this slider or curveball. You can go to either one of them to try and get Mark out.
Swisher edges away at first.
Well, he went to it, but got it up.
The only problem is when you set up the hitter for a pitch and you don't make the pitch. Now you're in harm's way.
Well, I still think he's going to go right back to it and make the hitter think opposite, but he's going to try to make a better pitch right here. Obviously 3-2 with a breaking ball.
Again, the game within the game, and a 3-2 pitch due to Teixeira. That ball high in the air to right along the line, and that ball is out of here. Mark Teixeira has hit a 2-run homer. A 3-2 pitch put into orbit in right.
Well, we showed you the home run he hit on a fastball at Yankee Stadium. This one a hanging slider up in the strike zone, and he wrapped it around the foul pole. Stay fair, ball.
It listened. Rodriguez takes. So the Yankees bats have woken up in the 6th and the 7th. Down 3-0 heading to the 6th. They score 4 times. Minnesota rallies to tie. And the deadlock broken here in the 7th behind Tex.
Well, you saw the first 2 breaking balls he threw to Derek Jeter. All he needed to do was throw one of those to Tex, and he wasn't able to do it. And Tex made him pay.
Rodriguez walked and scored in that big 4-run 6th. Also flied out and struck out.
Last year when the Twins got swept, they were leading 2-0 in the first game, 3-1 in the second, 1-0 in the third. Problem was outscored after the 6th inning, 8-2, and the Yankees are doing it again.
The 2-1 to A-Rod toward the hole. Hardy gloves it, but will not be able to throw out Rodriguez. 3 straight hits off Jesse Crain here in the 7th, one of them a long ball. Let's take another look at the home run by Teixeira. And again, the moonshot, Ron.
Well, we're in Minnesota. That was like a Reggie Roby punt, wasn't it? I mean, over almost the foul pole.
And that right now is the difference in this game. Jesse Crain departs. It's 6-4.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
All right, sports fans want to hear what the biggest names in sports broadcasting think about the hot topics in their sports. Check out Behind the Mic, presented by Allstate exclusively on SI.com. Now, in a perfect world, Ron Gardenhire likes to get the ball in Brian Fuentes' hands in the 8th inning. But here in the 7th with 1 out, he's called upon as Jesse Crain gives up a 2-run shot and then a base hit to A-Rod.
Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. You really have to play these games in the sense that cannot give the Yankees any more runs here with their bullpen of Wood and Rivera, Robertson, Chamberlain. Any more runs?
Well, the emotions of this game has been all over the place. If you're in New York watching the game, you're like, oh my gosh, score some runs. Then you get the lead and CC gives it up with 2 outs, but a big home run here, and they're all over the place in Minnesota going, no way. But this is what postseason baseball is all about, execution. We saw a guy that couldn't execute on a slider that's got a great one, 2 in a row, and it right now has cost them the game.
There is Mark Teixeira, whose 2-run homer here in the 7th has broken a 4-4 tie. There's Robinson Cano. He was right in the middle of that 6th inning rally, knocked in a run. Fuentes to the plate, misses outside, a ball and no strikes. Fuentes came over from the Angels.
Picked off the waiver wire.
Missed again, 2-0.
You watch him throw and you wonder, did he throw like that all the time? No, he had a shoulder injury and it changed his delivery. He gives you a short arm effect. Doesn't give you much of that big wind up or the big arm swing, and he really delivers to the hitter a small part of the ball that they can see. Tough to hit off of.
He had 23 saves with the Angels in 2010. He had one with Minnesota. Matt Capps was their closer, and he fooled Cano there. But you got two guys on that staff with that closer mentality, and three really with John Roush, who had the responsibility early in the season after Joe Nathan went down.
But the one thing Minnesota's missing at the end of the game is the experience factor of a guy not really been in this situation. Matt Capps has done a nice job, but Joe Nathan was a seasoned veteran, had been through the postseason. Matt has yet to experience the postseason, even though he's done a nice job coming over and getting the job done. But to your point, Ernie, three guys that can share it. I don't think it's set in stone in Ron's mind and how he's going to use guys, as evidence today, bringing in Fuentes early.
They might have closers, but their three closers, as you mentioned, Capps, Roush, and Fuentes, 3 postseason saves. Mr. Rivera, 39.
Runner going, pitch down low, and A-Rod has swiped second, won't be able to advance. So another run in scoring position.
Well, this is just really taking a chance, moving on first movement from Fuentes, and maybe this time off has really helped Alex Rodriguez. Really was limping around running at the end of the season. Pretty fresh legs now.
They've been bothered by a left calf injury too and missed some time, and the Yankees were rolling without him. Said they were afraid Brian Cashman might put him on the 60-day DL if they continued to play well in his absence. Fouled back by Cano.
Well, we saw Hudson earlier in the game take the extra base, and we're seeing guys like Alex Rodriguez now. You see the import of these games. This is something that would never happen in the regular season for Alex. A stolen base in the 7th inning with Robinson Cano.
Continuing to try and apply pressure on Minnesota here in the 7th. A payoff pitch to Robinson Cano. Grounded to the right side. Hudson gobbles it up. 2 down. Rodriguez moves to third.
Well, Boone Logan was warming up for the New York Yankees. He has now sat down. Makes you wonder if they're going to continue with CC Sabathia, but I see they're starting to get him up again. Logan ready to come into the game. And when you think of CC maybe pitching on 3 days rest, that might have been his last inning.
Here's the DH Marcus Timms with a runner at third and 2 out. Takes a strike. To the point you made earlier, Ron, about fans having been through this before. There were Minnesota Twin fans standing now trying to get the people around them engaged in the game. They're down by 2. Timms to third. Valencia throws across and gets it. But the damage done by Mark Teixeira. A launch to right that did stay fair. They lead by 2. TBS this November, welcome to college. For these 4 freshmen, the rush is on. Don't miss the series premiere of Glory Days, November 16th at 10, 9 Central, only on TBS. Top of the Minnesota order in the bottom half of the 7th. They trail by 2. Here's Denard Span. Alex Rodriguez charging in from third as Span shortened up. CC Sabathia's night done. Boone Logan, the only left-hander in the New York pen in this series, is on.
Huge inning for the Minnesota Twins, because from this point on it just gets nastier and nastier and nastier for the guys that come out of the pen. So you know you got your small windows here in the 7th inning.
Span singled in the first. Grounded to second in the second and grounded to first in the 5th. Rodriguez in a few steps on the grass at third. When he singled in the first, he reached out and took the ball the other way. Was sacrificed to second, but did not score. Minnesota once led this game 3-0. And the New York Bats woke up in the 6th and 7th at 6-4.
John, we made a big deal about Liriano's first start in the postseason. How about Boone Logan's first appearance in the postseason? Maybe even more pressure pitching here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, he came over with the Vasquez trade, and certainly it's a lot easier to pitch with a 2-run lead, knowing that more than likely if he gets in any trouble, he's got some backup coming from him. But yeah, it's got to be welcome to your first experience.
1-2. Routine fly ball to center field. Curtis Granderson makes the play for the first out. I'm sure you recall that first time, John and Ron, that you walk into this setting in the postseason. How different a feeling is it?
Well, for me, it was the greatest feeling in the world because it's always what I wanted to do. But you still go out there, you have no saliva, your stomach's all in knots. That's what you want. I love the pressure. Pressure motivated me. I wish I could have created more every single game. But for certain guys, it can cause them to do things differently.
There's some dry mouth going on among the Minnesota faithful at this point, too. Orlando Hudson sacrificed in the first, singled in the third, scored on a pass ball.
In the postseason, things are just added to your plate. The key in the postseason is try to find some way to quiet all the things that are going, whether it's ticket requests, family coming in, press conferences, meeting with us, all those things that you don't necessarily always have to do.
Logan has one he wants, and here it comes. 2 balls and a strike. Joe Mauer waiting on deck. Game 1 of the ALDS. A Minnesota team which has lost 3 times in a row to the Yankees. Hudson in the hole, looking for Jeter, throw him out. So 2 up and 2 down for Mauer. 4th time in the last 8 years these teams have played, and the only Minnesota wins have come in New York. Fans in Minnesota have not seen a playoff victory since 2002. And you can see the anguish painted on their faces here at Target Field. Mauer has struck out twice. Grounder to first sandwiched in there. Not even a ball and a strike, so when you think about these guys head to head in 03, 04, and 09, the sweep last year. They swept them in the regular season and in the post. 0-10 was Minnesota a year ago.
Well, maybe today's the day. You talked about not being able to come back in their last 20 postseason games, John. They have lost their last 9 in a row in postseason. But the Rangers had lost 9 in a row in the postseason also, till they won today.
Paulo Pagano, the Game 2 starter for Minnesota, and that ball caught Jorge Posada.
If you're looking down in the next couple innings, as we watch this foul ball, being a catcher's not real fun.
Caught in flush right in the middle of the mask. Almost knocked him over.
That's happened enough that there were concerns several weeks back about a possible mild concussion for Jorge Posada. He's right back in the crouch and ready to go as Boone Logan prepares to throw a 1-2 pitch to Joe Mauer. 2 outs here in the 7th. Twins down 2.
Well, Mauer got a pitch to hit there. A little hanging slider from Logan in the middle of the plate.
Yeah, today already he hasn't had much to hit from. CC pitched him real tough. And if he's going to get up in the 9th, the Twins are going to have to get some hits to get him back up to face Mariano Rivera if they're still trailing.
Mauer, the local hero, stays alive. I know you don't like to remember 1991.
I don't remember.
One of the great World Series of all time between the Twins and the Atlanta Braves, but Joe Mauer, just a kid back then, and his aunt and uncle had tickets to the game that Kirby Puckett hit the home run, Game 6.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But now that I mean, I'm sure you're telling the truth.
And they took his older brothers instead. He says, the only thing I can remember is I must have done something wrong that my mom and dad were penalizing me for.
Well, I know this place is loud, but nothing will replace the loudness of that game and that dome. The noise doesn't go anywhere. The Homer Hankies seem like they're right next to you. It was an incredible place. This is an incredible place, and I'm sure everyone here is pretty happy with the outdoor atmosphere.
Atmosphere just fine tonight. Comfortable evening here in Minneapolis, but uncomfortable times for the Twins here in the 7th. Down 2 and a 1-2. That ball's well hit into right field. A great hitter. Got a pitch he could handle. And single to right.
Well, a little slider in the middle of the plate, and Mauer connects. Hit it so sharply, no chance for Teixeira, the fine fielder, to make a play.
So a 2-out single here in the bottom half of the 7th signals the end for Boone Logan. We'll be back. Back here at Target Field in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and the Yankees have gone to the pen for right-hander David Robertson.
Well, here's a guy that a little unorthodox, straight over the top fastball. Comes at it with a heavy fastball. Doesn't really move much, Ron, but it's got such a heaviness to it that when he throws it on the outer half, it's tough to hit.
Yeah, and he's got some good movement, good overhand curveball. He's got all 4 pitches. That's Robertson. He's also got to come and get a strikeout. Nice job by Boone Logan getting the first 2 outs. Couldn't get Joe Mauer out. Welcome to the club.
He's worked 61 1/3 and struck out 71. He'll face Delman Young. He's the Twins' best RBI guy, and this is a spot.
And he's also very aggressive on the first pitch, so it's going to be interesting to see what Jorge decides to throw or suggest, as we've already seen 2-out lightning by both clubs this game.
Young is 0 for 3. Posada kept that in front. 1-0.
And if that pitch would have been anywhere close to the strike zone, he was ready to swing. So you know this going in. You got all the reports. They're feeding you information. You see the video, and it all comes down at this time of the year to execution more than any other time in the season.
And they said Delman Young's had such a great year this year because he's become more patient. 47 2-out RBIs this season. That was 4th in the American League.
It's a huge 2-out spot right now. Runner at first in a 2-run game. And he's ahead 2-0. He hit .355 with runners in scoring position this year. Right now he bats with a runner at first. And he's ahead 3 balls and no strikes.
Do you green light him? Down 2?
I know Tommy's on deck, but I do. You know what you're going to get. Fastball.
Through there, 3-1. Tommy is on deck. The Yankees have used their lefty in the pen in Boone Logan already.
And they were considering putting Royce Ring on the roster, declined to do that.
He fooled Young. 3-2. Kerry Wood loosening up in the New York pen. That was a huge move at the trade deadline, picking him up. Robertson trying to come all the way back, but can't. They're at first and second for Jim Thome. Two on, 2 out. The Twins leading home run hitter at the plate.
Early on, he's been pulling his fastball to the right-handers away. He better not lose a fastball to the inner part of the plate because Jim Thome will make him pay. Good first pitch right there on the outer half to resettle the nerves.
Ball and a strike. You know what's on the mind of the 40,000 plus here at Target Field in the bottom of the 7th.
33% of the balls that he puts in the air are home runs. 33% of the fly balls, so that's what's on their mind. Get it in the air. Got a chance.
Struck him out to end the 7th. Big pitch by David Robertson.
Good boy, Robbie.
Here's the postseason triple header schedule for tomorrow on TBS. Rangers and Rays get us started. Then we've got the Yankees and Twins game 2. The finale will be game 1 in the Atlanta-San Francisco series, 9:30 Eastern time on Thursday. We move to the top half of the 8th. Jorge Posada had a couple of hits, has scored a run. Four in the 6th, 2 in the 7th for New York. A game they once trailed 3-0. They now lead 6-4. Mark Teixeira among those who have made it possible for the Yankees. His 2-run shot right now is the difference. Broke that 4-4 tie. Fuentes misses inside.
You're right about Fuentes, as Jesse Crane, who gave up that 2-run home run to Mark Teixeira. You don't see a lot of the baseball. It kind of hides the baseball as well as any relief pitcher in the game.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, in talking to the players, I tell you what Jorge Posada is. He's a huge asset at the plate for the Yankees. One of the things that they talked about, you know, and even the troubles behind the plate and the runners taken off at will. We saw Boston have 4 stolen bases against Mariano Rivera. But the Minnesota Twin players, to a man, says you can't steal first base. Got to get on first base to be able to do something. And I think CC did a great job with his slide step, keeping them from really taking bases.
The thing you like about Posada, he's always brought, in all of his years in New York, a certain toughness to this Yankee team. He's tough by nature, a grizzled veteran when you watch him play. Batting gloves? I don't need any batting gloves.
Two out of 3 tonight. Curtis Granderson on deck. As you see, Tex and Derek Jeter. Granderson had a huge hit in this game, a towering triple, which gave New York the lead. That came in the 6th before Teixeira unloaded in the 7th. Another payoff pitch to Posada. Stays alive. Brian Fuentes is the 4th Minnesota pitcher. Francisco Liriano started, shut him out for 5, and then the bottom fell out in the 6th inning. "39-year-old Jorge Posada waiting." And Fuentes got him, 1 down. Eighth Yankee to strike out tonight. So here we are playing in the top half of the 8th inning. It's John Smoltz. This is Ron Darling. And Minnesota, you start looking at the outs left. 6 outs left, 3 outs left before Joe Girardi hands the ball to Mo.
You can get really negative quick. You can start doing those things that every team that's faced the Yankees in postseason, oh no. And we got to find a way to score before that oh no comes in.
Granderson takes. A ball and a strike. Kevin Long made a change with Granderson in August, trying to get his hands more quiet at the plate, simplify things, and has paid off. Here he pops up, and J.J. Hardy, backpedaling, made the play. There in the foreground, John Roush warming up for Minnesota. Kerry Wood in the Yankee pen as they're side by side here in left center field.
It's not a distortion. He is about 6'11".
Yes. Brett Gardner batting now with 2 down in the 8th. Walked, struck out, grounded out.
Tell you what, I'm impressed for Mauer. As big as he is, he gives such a low target and really works well with the pitchers because he's one of the tallest catchers in the league, and he just has the ability to get down there with the glove and show a nice target for his pitcher right where he wants to throw it.
Beautiful breaking pitch. 1 and 2.
Yeah, when he squats and is on his haunches, He's about 5'8", but what he does is he puts that glove down low in the strike zone, kind of gets his body down low. And for a guy that suffered with a bad knee the second half of the season, it's got to be quite painful.
1-2 to Gardner. Rounded up toward first, just foul. Kadire, Kubel, and Valencia due in the Minnesota half of the 8th.
I always wonder with a guy like that, Ron, is how long can he be back there?
Yeah.
You know, the transition usually goes from catcher to first, but that's taken.
You know, the thing about catchers, though, when they're as good a hitter as Mauer is, they start to get into doing historical things as a catcher and usually like to stay at that position.
Fuentes deals way outside, 2-2. Kerry Wood surveys the action from the New York pen. As Fuentes' breaking pitch stayed outside.
I was talking about Joe Mauer and the historical things that he's doing. He's got 3 batting titles, catching every day. Major League history, there's only been 3 other batting titles won by catchers.
Payoff. Grounded to first. Kadire makes the play. And we are through 7.5. Minnesota down a deuce. Bottom half of the 8th. The 4th New York Yankee pitcher is Kerry Wood. And you talked about the impact he made coming over before the trade deadline.
How nice is this that for the 8th inning you can bring in a Kerry Wood. 15th postseason game for Kerry.
He faces Michael Kadire and misses at 95 miles an hour. Kadire homered way back in the 2nd for that early 2-0 Minnesota lead. They would lead 3-0. But the Yankees rallied. Breaking pitch over. Ball and a strike.
Well, what Kerry Wood was always known for is that wicked curveball that nobody could hit. You see a tight slider right there. Still got an excellent fastball. But he will get you out with that curveball if he has a chance with 2 strikes.
On the right side, foul the ball and 2 strikes. Kadire, Kubel, and Valencia scheduled here in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
There it was, but he just missed. I've noticed with Kerry over the evolution of, you know, great stuff as a starter, his mechanics is quieter. He's out of the stretch. Everything seems a little more simpler, and he's more straightforward to the hitter. Right-handers had no chance against him when he was going good as a starter.
He rushed it up there again at 96, and again Posada took a shot.
You know, one thing I was a big believer as we watch this replay and takes his mask almost completely sideways. You know, I used to think if you're a closer, you can come in and pitch out of the windup. But so many guys now are just staying out of the stretch because he had such an advantage out of the windup with all the motion and everything he had going for him. But in this case, it's actually worked better for Kerry to simplify everything.
Kadire leading off here in the bottom of the 8th. Minnesota down 2. And in need of base runners. Scott Alger makes a few friends as he tosses that foul ball into the stands. The Minnesota third base coach, who was born in New York and grew up a Yankee fan until the New York Mets came into existence, and being a Long Island guy, he gradually changed allegiance.
I'll tell you, the past few seasons, he's not a Yankee fan.
Now that pitch previous, you saw him fall off to the side of the mound trying to create breaks. Sometimes the more you try to break it, the more your body gets involved, and it creates a pull type effect away from the zone.
Went upstairs and got him for the first out.
Well, sometimes as a hitter, you know you're going to get a fastball. The opposing team is up by 2 runs, and you get it, but you don't zone it. And that ball out of the strike zone with Kadire, he wanted to make sure that he got the barrel of the bat out, but he did on a ball 4.
Kerry Wood's always been, for me, a nice north and south pitcher. He can throw up with fastballs, throw that curveball, change the eye levels of the hitter's eyes, and it's been so effective. He doesn't have to be pinpoint with his fastball. As evidence of that last at bat, you don't know how to gear in. You don't want to get beat with the fastball, but you also know that he's got a great curveball and slider.
Minnesota trying to get somebody on, bring a tying run to the plate. They're down 2 in the 8th. Kubel has walked in 3 trips.
Interesting exchange that we saw there from J.J. Hardy and Ron Gardenhire. J.J. Hardy just asking his manager, do I take a strike? With the team down 2 runs. Gardenhire's response, not against Kerry Wood. Can't afford to give one up.
1-2.
I don't know why Posada was trying to come up with that one. He might have cost his pitcher a strike right there. Pitch looked over the middle of the plate and he was jumping up.
The count again full.
I think this hitter, Jason Kubel, is really the key for Minnesota. Last 2 postseasons now, 1 for 16 with 9 strikeouts. He is one of their most important hitters, most important run producers, and he's going to have to produce at some point in this series.
The payoff missed. And so there's a base runner here in the 8th.
Well, this is a pitch that earlier in the game, John, that maybe you would get Jerry Crawford to give you that call, but that was too far outside.
Jason Repko will run for Kubel at first.
I'd be interested to see if Ron gets him moving. You know, Kerry has a slow move to home plate. This is a great opportunity to try to get a guy at second base. See if at this at bat at some point he tries to steal second base.
A swap of Jason's at first. And that is something that Ron Gardenhire obviously had talked about. He said, when you make these decisions for your postseason, looking late in the game, you know you're going to need pinch runners at times when runs are at a premium, and Repko is in there with 1 down. Danny Valencia, the rookie at the plate.
It does help to throw at 95, 96 to make up for a little bit slower move. That was kind of like a medium slide step for Kerry.
Well, you think in this postseason, when you think of having to steal a bag, you always think about Dave Roberts in 2004. But in this case, nothing harder than trying to steal a bag off the bench.
Valencia backed away, and Jerry Crawford called it a strike, 1-1.
That's that cutter
I'm sure that's that influence from his teammate, Mariano Rivera.
Rounded up toward short. Rodriguez will cut it off and have no play. Tried to throw behind. Not a bad idea, but no chance at second. Didn't get much of it, but got enough.
Well, good play by A-Rod. He knows he did not have a play at first base and tried to surprise Repko and almost got him.
All right, to your point, Ron, conversation with the manager. What do we got here? Does he swing? Does he let him go on the patience of Hardy? First pitch fastball, try to attack?
Well, I personally, if I'm Hardy, I would be swinging the bat first pitch as Rivera starts to get loose. I think that's what Island's going to tell him. This is a guy that very rarely swings at the first pitch. Let's get ahead of him and then get something down in the strike zone. Try to get a double play.
Hardy doubled his first time, flied out and struck out. Wood misses. If you're just joining us, it is game one of the ALDS between the Yankees and the Minnesota Twins from Minneapolis, and we're in the bottom half of the eighth. Minnesota down 2, but 2 runners on with 1 out. Now Posada and Wood want to get on the same page, and nobody here wants to see that.
Well, go back to what John was talking about. Every pitch is just so important. You cannot take a chance on not being on the same page.
Runners lead from first and second. That ball towards second. Not a double play ball. They get the out. Runners move up.
Well, remember I said, Ernie, there's always a moment in the game. There can be several always moments in the game. And here's one of them for Minnesota. 2 outs, runners in scoring position to tie the game, to avoid seeing Mariano Rivera. It really falls on Denard Span right here.
The Twins have had their chances when they did score that 1 in the 6th to tie. They left the bases loaded. And in the 7th, they had 2 on and did not score.
Right here, we got a little stalling tactic. You see the pitching coach wet. You see the old Muppet with his hand saying, talk to the pitcher.
And that's trying to get Rivera loose.
Twins are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, and you saw Mariano Rivera loosening in that New York bullpen.
Joe's going to give him extra time and then make the call when he gets to the dirt.
Joe Girardi going to the pen, and number 42 makes another appearance, this one in the 8th. We'll be right back. Back here at Target Field, where the Minnesota Twins have 2 on with 2 out, down 2. Both runners are in scoring position, where Minnesota's 0 for 6 on the night, and the legendary Mariano Rivera is on.
I think he's losing it. What do you think?
What can you say about Rivera? John, one of the best postseason pitchers who repeats his motion to the plate, possibly better than anyone in the history of the game.
No doubt. I got nervous for him, but this is a veteran because he only threw about 12 or 13 pitches in the pen to get ready. He knows what he's going to do. He throws the same pitch just about every time, and to your point, Ron, he just keeps repeating the mechanics. It's like, imagine throwing a football with a baseball. That's what his fastball does. It cuts in on a left-hander away from a right-hander. And oh, by the way, this year he added a 2-seamer to go into a right-hander.
The numbers in his postseason career are absolutely mind-boggling. You saw the ERA of 0.74. But one of the things that jumps out and grabs me, this guy's 40 years old. Last time he gave up a home run in the postseason, he was 30. It's been 10 years, and he's only given up 2 in his career.
And it's never given up a home run to a left-handed hitter.
Matt Tolbert pinch running at second for Danny Valencia.
I always felt right-handers had a better chance of success off of Mariano than left-handers because it's so hard to keep that ball fair when he rides it in on the left-hander.
Bernard Span takes 1-0.
From 1998 to 2009, Mariano Rivera had 4 blown saves in September. He had 3 in September this season.
You know what that stat does not tell you? He is in more difficult save situations than anybody I can ever remember because he's 6 of the last 12 postseason games. He's pitched more than 1 inning. This will be the 7th now. He's got the tying runs on base. Most guys come in a clean inning.
Yeah.
Two 2-0 to Span. 3 balls and no strikes. They asked for help. Ryan O'Nora said he did not go.
You can always tell by the home umpire what kind of call he's looking for when he asks for help unenthusiastically.
That's over for a strike, 3-1. Span knocked in 58 runs this year. And there are 2 of them out there for him here in the 8th. Full count.
For left-handers, it's almost an optical illusion. The ball comes out of his hand, it looks like a pitcher can handle, and it just runs right up on the hands of the left-handed hitter.
Well, that pitch box that you viewers are seeing at home, if you see one on the other side, it's a mistake.
To short, Jeter. And the Yankees get out of it. Mariano Rivera comes on and does his thing. Stay tuned for Inside MLB presented by Captain Morgan, Matt Weiner, Cal Ripken, Dennis Eckersley, and David Wells. We'll bring you highlights of today's other games and this one as well, and all the post-game chatter. Day 1 of the postseason here on TBS. Jason Repko at right field. Going to get some action right away from Derek Jeter and makes the play. Matt Tolbert stays in the game at third. And John Roush is the 5th Minnesota pitcher. Roush stepped right in at the beginning of the season when Joe Nathan went down and assumed the closer's role. And Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, says he's the unsung hero of this team.
Well, he didn't miss a beat. That's what happened. He was almost perfect with those 21 saves when they didn't know if he could do the job, because Nathan has been so good here. Almost automatic during the regular season.
As John said, he's a big guy, 6'11", 290, steps right on you. And he faces Nick Swisher. to second. 2 up and 2 down here in the ninth. And here comes public enemy number 1 in Minneapolis. Mark Teixeira because of this in the 7th.
Well, 3-2 hanging slider up in the strike zone. Jesse Crain had thrown 2 in a row, and he just kept this fair.
And the reason he kept it fair is the ball was up more than it was in.
And that is the difference as we play in the ninth. 6-4. Yankees lead.
If there's ever one pitch in baseball that has a perfect recipe for giving up a home run, it's that hanging slider. The spin and everything about it just elevates the ball to a point where it's gone.
Provides backspin, almost like it sits there on a tee waiting for the hitter to take the swing.
Teixeira is 2 out of 4. Also doubled and scored in the 6th inning. That's when the New York bats awoke and they got to Francisco Liriano, who had pretty much sailed through 5. Like Liriano had set down 10 in a row and was pitching a shutout, and that's when New York got a hold of it. Another chance for Hudson. 1, 2, 3 inning for the Twins. They've got 3 outs left against Mariano Rivera. This American League Division Series coverage on TBS has been presented by BlackBerry. And we're not done yet. Bottom half of the 9th inning. Yankees with that 6-4 lead. Twins with the 2-3-4 hitters. Orlando Hudson. 1 out of 3 with a run scored. He hustled home on the pass ball by Jorge Posada back in the 3rd. Greg Golson now in right field for the Yankees. Rivera came on in the 8th, got the last out as Denard Span grounded to short with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Boy, the Twins have had their chances here down the stretch. Here comes the 0-2. Didn't mean to, and tapped it up to Scott Alger at 3rd.
Hudson shaking his head, a little smirk from Gardenhire's. Same old Rivera. Hudson trying to get himself off of the plate a little bit to give him a little bit of an advantage. Maybe that ball that's on the inside corner is more centered for him. And Rivera tries to counter with a backdoor cutter. It's just missed.
Rivera looking for postseason save number 40. This would be the 4-out variety. Count even at 2-2.
You can also add another category that nobody's ever done that he has. I think he's broken more bats than anybody in the history of the game. Matter of fact, my teammate in the World Series, Ryan Klesko, even though we lost, we had a little chuckle of 3 straight pitches. 3 straight broken bats.
You don't want to come back to the dugout after that at bat.
Just did get a piece. 2-2.
Nice at bat. Nice battle by Hudson.
Joe Mauer waiting on deck. Twins in desperate need of base runners. Here's the pitch. And the battle continues.
Want to know the best $3,500 ever spent? Was by the Yankees when they signed Rivera in 1990. Scout Herb Rayborn saw the future.
And it was this guy. Hey, there's some more firewood for you, John. One down. You see when they use Mariano beyond the ninth to pick up those saves. It's 5 of 61 in this regular season. In there trying to get a 4-out save tonight. And Joe Mauer bats with nobody on and 1 out and takes a strike.
Just has so much control, that pitch. When he needs to throw a strike, he'll start it in the outside corner, move it towards the center. Once he gets the advantage, he lives in on the left-hander's hands.
Hey, was that another broken bat? Sounded like it, and Rivera made the great play. He tells A-Rod he's fine. Put another log on the fire.
Wouldn't you ask if he was all right?
Well, what you didn't say in that $3,500 was that he has a contract with the bat company.
There you go. That's right.
For every bat he breaks, he gets some money. Because they got to reorder.
2 up and 2 down. Delman Young, the last hope, takes a strike.
What a strange day for the people of Minnesota. They woke up. Randy Moss is back with the football team, and all this anticipation for a game tonight. 3-0 lead. And they're staring at a result that they wish they hadn't seen before.
It is 0-2.
Well, they had their chances. They left 7 in scoring position tonight. Just could not get that big hit.
Rivera to the plate. To right. Sinking. And Golson. No. They say it's a base hit. They said he trapped it. And Young has reached. Joe Girardi wants to talk about it. The umpire on the right field line is Chris Guccione, his first postseason game, and with 2 outs in the 9th, he's in the middle of it.
They're showing the umpires right now that there's no grass stain on the baseball. And the umpire is going to get together. And if they make one, they change this call, this place is going to go nuts.
But I'm at least glad that the umpires are encouraged this year to get together and make the right call.
All 6 got together, so Delman Young stayed put.
Well, Golson, who came in for defensive purposes, catches that baseball. They missed the call. Well, in last year's series, you saw that ball down the line, but Phil Cuzzy missed by Joe Mauer. Well, they get it right. Don't get it right here.
We talked to Joe Girardi before the game about the addition of Golson to this postseason roster. He said he likes his defense late in games, and he made a shoestring catch right there. Ruled a base hit. A runner at first, tying run at the plate is Jim Thome. Broken bat behind third. Rodriguez makes the play. That is the third out. That is the third broken bat of the bottom of the ninth. And that is the first win of this series. And it goes to the New York Yankees.
Well, Rivera was Rivera. CC Sabathia pitched well enough to get the win in this ball game. Joe Girardi's crew just keeps their dominance over the Minnesota Twins.
We said in the open, I thought Minnesota had the balance and the patience to sustain a loss, but now you got to deal with the psyche. And that's the big job of Ron Gardenhire, to get his club saying, hey, look, we've won 3 out of 4. Again, we got to win tonight, tomorrow night, and win one in New York to send it back. So the psyche of Minnesota is being tested right now, but that team has been battle tested all year, and I expect them to come out and play a great game tomorrow night.
That is 10 straight postseason losses for the Minnesota Twins. Still have not won in front of the home folks in a postseason game since 2002. And the New York Yankees come in and swipe the home field advantage here in Game 1 against the Minnesota Twins as we go down to Craig Sager.
Well, with Mark Teixeira, the difference of the game, that towering 2-run homer he hit in the 7th, that hanging slider. What were you looking for, and were you surprised that you got that pitch after he tried to get you out earlier?
No, I mean, just trying to look for something up in the zone. Right there, I don't want to hit into a double play. Don't want to roll over anything. And, you know, the slider, it was up a little bit and put a good swing on it.
As Ernie mentioned earlier, it's a different ballpark, a different year, but the same script. You've seen this before. What is it about you guys coming back against Minnesota?
It's just probably bad luck for Minnesota. We just keep fighting, and that's a great team over there. You know, we've played a lot of tough games against them. We just happen to get maybe one big hit, one big pitch, and you know, we've been battling, and it's worked out.
Francisco Liriano is very tough. He got a big out against you one time with 2 men on. You flew out to right field, but you got certain things going in that 6th with a double. What did you see differently when you saw him the next time up?
Yeah, the first 2 at-bats, he didn't miss many spots. I mean, the first 4 or 5 innings, he was dominant. And, you know, the last time we got him, the last inning, we got him with a couple pitches up in the zone. You know, maybe missed a few pitches. A guy like him, if he's on, you're not going to hit him, and we didn't the first few innings.
A lot of people question Mariano Rivera down the stretch. He blew 3 saves in September, had a couple bullpen sessions. How much confidence did you have in him tonight?
A lot of confidence. I mean, Mo did a great job there, and you know, should have been 4 outs in a row, but you know, he did a great job.
All right, thanks a lot. Back up to you, EJ.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. Our final score tonight: the New York Yankees over the Minnesota Twins, 6-4. For Ron Darling, John Smoltz, Craig Sager, and the rest of the crew, this is Ernie Johnson bidding you a good night from Minneapolis. Be sure to tune in tomorrow on TBS for more triple-header action. Coverage begins at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. TBS is your exclusive home for the entire Division Series and the American League Championship Series. Now stay tuned for Inside MLB, presented by Captain Morgan. Remember to drink responsibly.
Ernie Johnson, thank you so much. The venue in Minnesota has changed. Unfortunately for the home team, the result has not. The Twins lose their 7th straight postseason game to the Yankees, and they led in each and every one. This is Inside MLB, presented by Captain Morgan. On the other side, Eck, Boomer, and Cal and I will run down the entire day, including the historic no-hitter in Philadelphia and the Rangers road win. That's all coming up right after this.